states are legalizing it, but like on the federal level, it's still illegal. So what? I go, yeah, so what? Like, wouldn't you then agree that the federal government is too goddamn big and shouldn't be interfering in those things? Especially because banning it in the first place is extra constitutional. Like, they don't have the authority to do that. So I think I made a little bit of headway with him on, on that issue. But yeah, and he was, a closed border, no immigrants guy, even though his dad was a Polish immigrant, like fought in World War II against the Nazis. And then was like, granted citizenship, for being a soldier and whatever. It's like, they're doing it the right way. Like, that's how you become a citizen, not this cross the borders and, come over with the Mexicans and wave the Mexican flag. Pish posh to, if you're going to come here, you wave the American flag, goddammit. Like, yeah, whatever. Like, what do I care? And he was like, there's got to be law and order. Like, what if there's a guy going like 100 miles an hour weaving out of traffic on the highway? I go, did he hit anybody? No. Well, what the fuck do I care? Leave him alone. Leave him alone. Even if he's going 150 miles down the highway, it doesn't hit anybody, and you arrest him, right? Who pays to keep him in jail? And he's like, well, we all do. I go, yes. So if he didn't hit anybody, he didn't violate anybody's rights, didn't bring harm to any person or property, right? Why do you want to pay to keep him in jail? Like, don't you have better things?
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,557, silver at $18.03, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,882. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, border agents in the United States on Thursday morning turned away a sick child seeking medical help, drawing outrage from rights advocates who say the refusal to allow the 6-year-old girl to attend a scheduled meeting with doctors in Philadelphia is putting her life in danger. The Mind Unleashed reports the child, who has Down syndrome and a heart condition, was brought to the border by an immigration lawyer and doctor who begged agents to allow the girl into the country on a vulnerability exemption to President Donald Trump's Remain in Mexico Migrant Protection Protocol's border policy. Border officials refused on the basis that the child's condition was not immediately life-threatening. According to the group Doctors for Camp Closure, the girl has also survived 2 kidnapping attempts in the last 3 months as she has been stuck in Mexico, awaiting medical care. Doctors for Camp Closures called on border agents to show compassion for the child. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Although the duo had 3 forms of identification, an Indigenous Canadian and his granddaughter were detained by police outside their bank because the clerk believed something was amiss. Maxwell Johnson wanted to help his daughter access some of his funds while she was away playing out-of-town sports. What started out as a good idea to help his granddaughter ended in Johnson nearly being kidnapped and caged. Activist Post reports that Johnson, along with his granddaughter, presented government-issued Indian status cards, his birth certificate, and her medical card. The elderly man had been a long-standing account holder at his BMO bank. Thinking there would be no problem in opening a youth account for his granddaughter, he said he submitted his paperwork to the clerk. The employee became suspicious and went upstairs with their ID cards and documents. The police then arrived. Johnson told local media he believes the police action was due to racial profiling. Australian combat veteran Damien Mander had a world of options before him after he returned from his tour of the Middle East. But the former Special Ops warfighter chose to devote his life to defending helpless wild animals from facing slaughter at the hands of illegal poachers. Damien Mander had completed 3 years in Iraq, where he trained and deployed paramilitary forces to the front lines of combat. Before that, he had served as a Special Operations sniper in the Australian Army's Special Forces 2nd Commando Regiment, as well as a Navy clearance diver, the Royal Australian Navy equivalent to the U.S. Navy SEALs. Mander now has a new passion project, International Anti-Poaching Foundation and a Ranger Training Academy in Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. So far, his efforts have seen a 90% drop in rhino poaching activities in Kruger National Park, which lies along South Africa's border with Mozambique. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A new report from the Department of Health and Human Services urges Americans to do something, anything at all. According to the study, getting off your ass and doing any sort of physical or mental activity could have positive health effects.
Look, we're not expecting you to go to the gym. That's clearly not happening. Just walk outside for a few blocks and then come back home. You can bring potato chips if that's what it'll take.
For many years, the health department has encouraged Americans to watch less TV, but this report reverses that, saying, quote, watch whatever the hell you want, but at least pay attention and remember who the characters are, or just admire the colors. Colors are pretty. It's expected that following the advice in this report will cut down on the largest cause of death among Americans, laying on your back until your mouth fills up with saliva and you drown. Following the report's release, the most popular exercise now seems to be masturbating, but researchers warn that if you do it in public, stick to the sidewalk or you might get hit by cars.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. My name is Captain Kickass, and I'm piloting this program for the first time ever. You can call in and talk about whatever you would like to talk about, of course. Our phone number is 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-3733. In the studio tonight, we have myself.
I'm Ian.
And Ridley.
Mr. Ridley from the Ridley Report.
Dave Ridley is joining us.
Our special guest.
He's back. He's formerly a fairly regular co-host. There was, I don't know, like a summer or a few months, several months maybe, where you were in here on a weekly basis. So it's nice to have you back.
Yeah, thanks.
And you actually just came back recently from Colorado, where you were there for an extended period of time. But you're back in the Shire.
Correct.
So here we are.
All right.
We are supposed to have a special guest to start the show out with tonight, but
you tease.
Yeah, the internet connection is more of a tease because wherever he is, it wasn't sounding very good. So we couldn't put Adam Kokesh on because we want you to be able to understand Adam when he calls in, and it was not working out. So hopefully we can clear this up and we can get him on. I know he wanted to talk about well, of course, he's running for not president. I
believe he has some campaign news.
Yeah, trying to get the Libertarian Party's presidential nomination. So we will get him on here at some point if we have to go with we tried to get him on Discord is what we were trying to do. and it just didn't work out. We didn't have enough time because I was both trying to train Captain Kickass with running the board and stuff like that, and deal with a special guest on the line. So you really had everything thrown at you there, Captain Kickass.
Hey, sink or swim, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I roll.
Yep.
Trial by fire. Any other cliches that you would like to throw in there? Go ahead, throw them in. Sink or swim, right? I think I covered that one. There is a little bit of news surrounding the
I heard
events.
nothing happened in Virginia today. I heard it was fairly uneventful. 22,000 attendees was the estimated number.
Yeah, I saw a report. I don't remember what news outlet it was, but the same thing, 22,000 or so. Armed folks showed up. They allowed something like 6,000 inside of the little free protest area. And they made everybody else stand outside the gated area. But then I saw some eyewitness reports that said it was no 22,000. It was closer to 100. And those are just, individuals on the social media saying that kind of thing. So
I have trouble with large groups of people and trying to estimate sizes.
Yeah, if it gets above 100 people or something like that, I have a difficult time. That looks like 1, 2, 4, 8. Okay, now it's 1,000. So I also have that trouble. We do have a caller on the line. It looks like we have a caller named Josh from Virginia who wants to talk about this very topic, the Second Amendment rally in Virginia. So we will attempt to go to him.
So hit the air button. So we're actually going to do a little training here on the air, and there's we're taking calls remotely, so you got to press that air button, and then he should be there.
Josh, you're on Free Talk Live. Can you hear me?
Hello, Josh.
Josh from Virginia.
Yeah, I can.
Hey, there you are.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We have you now.
You're on the air.
Hey, I have a friend who is actually right in the dead center of the whole protest over there, and he sent me a picture of a guy flying a swastika flag, and it just
he
so
did what with a swastika flag?
Real white people that are doing something there. I mean, it's finally we have somebody standing up to these Jews at the Capitol. I mean, it was a.
Oh, you're one of those. You're one of those guys, huh?
You're a Fed, aren't you? You're just an infiltrator, aren't you? Trying to make the whatever movement look bad.
Oh, you want to talk about infiltration? How about that dirty little Jew, Mark? And it's wife.
You're such a loser. I mean, you're just so pathetic.
Or you're a prank caller.
Get rid of him.
Okay, bye-bye.
What a loser.
Oh, that was Josh from Virginia.
I mean,
what a pleasant guy.
To have such an obsession with people's ethnic backgrounds or their religion, it's so sad. I mean, even Chris Cantwell isn't that embarrassing. You know, I actually heard we had Chris Cantwell. I mean, I didn't have him on, but he was on Vincent's show over the weekend on LRN.FM. He was on
I tuned in
Authority.
for part of that. I'm not all that familiar with him or the saga. I've picked up bits and pieces over time, having been a listener to this show for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, even Cantwell finally admitted this week that it's not all the Jews, because he'd been sounding more like that caller. But even Cantwell was able to discern that there's actually normal people who are Jewish, who are not part of some sort of conspiracy, who aren't, evil, trying to control the world or whatever. I mean, if even Chris Cantwell can come to those determinations, you just have to wonder if people like that caller are even real.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's the most likely explanation, actually, is that he was just a crank caller.
But it's just so despicable.
He did sound like he was trying to prevent himself from laughing while saying the things he was doing. So
that's true.
We have that going for us, which is nice. It looks like we do have our special guest now.
Oh, good. Let's bring him on.
Do we want to bring him on? We do. Okay. Adam, it's the captain. Can you hear me?
Hey, yes, I can. Thank you so much for having me on, Brian. Ian, much appreciated, as always.
He spilled the beans.
That's all right. It's just the first name. You are live on the air, Adam.
Oh, okay. Well, that wasn't. Did you bleep that?
No, it's all right, man. You're not the first guy to know that. What my slave first name is. You're not the first guy.
Slave name is.
But we don't know how you spell it. Anyway, let's move on.
Oh, that's true.
So
no, I wanted to leave room at the beginning of that show for that great first caller to warm the crowd up for me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna have a warm-up act, from my 22 years in doing music in the West Coast, Seattle area, if you're gonna have a warm-up act, make sure that they're not better than you in some way, shape, or form, right?
Oh man, I screwed that up. All right.
It's all good. Well, so what you have some news you called in for to tell us an update about you and what's going on in your world.
He's running for not president.
Yeah, well, it's been an amazing experience so far, and I wish I could have been in New Hampshire, but unfortunately, New Hampshire only gets 11 delegates this year. I was in Tennessee, where there are 23, and that was last weekend. Did very well there. And had a debate in Georgia this weekend. I got to give a big shout out to the Libertarian Party of Georgia for putting on an awesome convention, great series of speakers, well organized, very professional debate. I think the best we've had so far by a long shot. And there are many more to come. And I want to take this opportunity to give a big shout out to all the other candidates who were there on stage for that debate in Georgia. And they, we had Lincoln Chafee there, Sam Robb, Ken, excuse me, I can't even, Mark Whitney.
Many of our listeners, I've never heard of most of these people, so I doubt many of our listeners know who they are. It's nice that you're, giving them props and everything. But there's a lot of candidates, right?
People have heard of Vermin Supreme,
yes.
right?
Yeah, we've had him on the show. And in fact, Vermin actually won the New Hampshire presidential primary for the Libertarian Party,
right.
And I'm guessing you weren't in that because you didn't appear in person?
Right.
Okay.
Well, we didn't file for that, or I don't remember what it was, but we decided strategically to put the effort into Tennessee instead of New Hampshire, since we couldn't do both. But Lincoln Chafee, a lot of people know Lincoln Chafee, or at least think they should, as a former governor, former senator coming into the Libertarian Party, bringing his resume and credibility. And I think it's a really good time.
No, that sounds terrible.
And you're actually falling for it, Adam?
No, I'm not. I think people like that should be welcomed into the party, though, and I think it's really important to be inclusive with it.
They've helped so much.
Hey, can you stick with us? Adam, hang on. Can you hang on? Stick with us for another segment?
Absolutely.
All right, just put him on hold, if you don't mind. We will continue. And that's not how you put him on hold. There's a button on the phone screening software there that will help you with that.
Hey, it's actually called hold. 855-450-FREE. This is Free Talk Live. Give us a call. Let us know what you think.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you receive the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Right? Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer-term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark at freetalklive.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Call in and talk about whatever you want. You take control of the air if you so choose. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We started talking a little bit about the Virginia protests this evening. We introduced both of our guests that we have. We have Dave Ridley live in the studio, and I'm Captain Kickass.
And I'm Ian.
And we're in the studio, but we also have Adam Kokesh.
And before we go back to Adam, I want to tell you about local.bitcoin.com. They have launched a trading platform. It started up this summer, so it's still pretty new at local.bitcoin.com. It allows you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash, and you can use dozens of payment methods. It's a global trading platform that actually respects your privacy, so there's no identification requirements in order to sign up for and use the site, which really sets it apart from its competition out there, because all the other ones seem to have some pretty heavy requirements, or a lot of them do. Over at local.bitcoin.com, you can trade Bitcoin Cash easily and privately. That's local.bitcoin.com.
Yeah, I set up an account there.
Did you?
A few months ago, and yeah, because I think.
Did you buy something or sell something?
No, I want to be able to sell.
If you want to.
And that's what's mostly the difficult thing, and that's what they seem to make easy, and they seem to be pretty easy to set up. But I haven't actually made I haven't made a serious transaction there yet.
I have made a number of them. It's not it's still a new site. It works very, very well, but it definitely needs some more participation.
To me, I think it proved more than anything else to be the use case for Bitcoin Cash. That was the thing that I thought was interesting about it.
Well, there's a lot of use cases for Bitcoin Cash. I just
here in Keene for sure.
I just tipped my bartendress tonight for my breakfast that I had before I came to the studio. I tipped her with Bitcoin Cash. I mean, it's easy. You can spend Bitcoin Cash in multiple places in New Hampshire, and I think even Thailand, it's in Bangkok, it's pretty big for Bitcoin Cash. There's a town in Australia as well.
I was going to say, I was reading something about Australia that it's kicking off there too. But we do also have Adam Kokesh with us. He's on the line. Adam, can you hear us?
Hey! I gotta say before anything else, big shout out to Mr. Ripley for joining us. I remember the Ripley Report and your YouTube channel.
Ridley Report. Ripley's the Believe It or Not guy.
Sorry. Oh man.
Good enough for union work or government work now in this case, huh?
Yeah, right. I'm not the first one to make that mistake. Oh gosh. No, the Ridley Report back in the early Ron Paul days, and the reporting from New Hampshire and what David was able to do was some pretty, in-your-face journalism, and it was, I was like, oh man, this is the competition when I got into YouTube and building up my own channel. It was sad to see it discontinued for a while, and it's really good to see you're back in media production.
Oh yeah, it's been constant, but there have been two different YouTube drawdowns against me. So in 2012 they cut my hits by half for no particular reason, and then again about a year ago for no particular reason my hits dropped by about 3/4. Nothing else really changing much.
You haven't been deplatformed. You've just been sort of reduced platformed.
Something like that, yeah.
Shadow banned.
Shadow banned.
That's what I've heard. Yeah, from two different sources now. Yeah.
Diet platform light.
No, I've been there, done that. There's nothing more frustrating than building into a social media network and developing a following and thinking, oh, now we've got the internet, we can challenge the mainstream media, and we still can, but then to have your legs cut out from underneath you in that process, man, it's gut-wrenching.
I think we all probably expected it as soon as YouTube came online. We knew something would happen to it, and I'm glad it took as long as it did for them to go evil.
Yeah, that's a good point. Getting bought by Google is what did it.
Yeah.
So a moment ago, you were telling us about this politician, Lincoln Chafee, who's formerly is he a Republican or a Democrat?
He's an authoritarian Republican, isn't he?
Well, I mean, they're all authoritarians, aren't
He's
they?
unusually authoritarian. Last I checked, isn't he?
Well, no, he's definitely of the Gary Johnson ilk of a libertarian-leaning moderate. I think he's genuinely well-intentioned. But I will say, well, we had a straw poll in Georgia, and they only announced the top 4, and he didn't make the top 4 either.
Good.
And I'd like to think that, and I support him being welcomed into the party. I support him running. I support him bringing that energy and credibility for the people who need that gateway to the party. I want people like that to feel welcome. But I think what we've done over the last couple of years with this campaign and bringing people into the party and encouraging people to be delegates and making sure that we will never have another, I guess what has been called the series of washed up Republicans as nominees of the Libertarian Party. And I'm very confident that, somebody who really represents the message and what this is about, not as a political message, but really an anti-political message, is going to be the nominee in 2020. The other 3 in the top 4 in the polling were Dan Vermin, Dan Taxation is Theft Vermin, Vermin Supreme, and Joe Jorgensen. And I love the pitch that Vermin is making. I think we can achieve that with a bold policy proposal like localizing the federal government.
Hold on, wait a minute. Vermin or Berman?
Vermin.
Vermin
both.
Supreme.
But yeah, the last one. Yeah, Dan wears the yellow hat, but he takes it off and is able to put together a very serious message and presentation. And I think he's shown that in the strength of his campaign, the people who he's recruited to be volunteers for him, and the hustle that he's shown in getting around the country and getting to these debates.
But wait, were you saying that Vermin Supreme has a serious proposal? Because mostly he's a satire candidate.
Right, but no, his proposal to the Libertarian Party is a serious proposal to say, look, the system's a joke. Let's put up a satire candidate and actually ridicule the system with that candidacy. I don't think it's the best strategy.
I love it.
But I love it, yeah. And
I think it's better than Gary Johnson, and it's better than Bob Barr. So, if you can't get the nomination, I definitely would like to see Vermin Supreme get it.
Ooh, a Kokesh Supreme ticket?
There you go. We could do worse, and we have done worse.
Yeah, would you accept Vermin as your vice presidential candidate?
Absolutely, as long as he signs on to the simple platform premise of we resign on day one and we take the federal government through a bankruptcy process. We don't put on the ring of power. We throw it directly into the fire. If the Libertarian Party continues to want to go in that direction, and that's what I've seen, that's been the response to my campaign and to this message, that if we decide to embrace a more principled and a more practical policy, the everybody gets what they want strategy, I have no doubt that Vermin would be willing to say, yeah, I'm if that's where you guys want to go for policy, you want me, on the ticket with Kokesh, I think he'd be down for that, and I would love that. I think that would be that would be a very fun combination for the Libertarian Party. And I
Kokesh Supreme.
in the sense that we're not. What's fundamentally different about this platform is that I'm not running to be president. I resign on day one and become custodian, the bankruptcy agent of the federal government. We have a peaceful, orderly, responsible bankruptcy process that leaves us with 50 independent states and up to 562 sovereign native nations.
Hey, Adam, you got time to stay on for another segment?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
absolutely.
We'll keep you on.
What's the campaign website?
Well, without having to remember how to spell my funny last name and Kokesh for president, you can just go to thefreedomline.com.
All right, more coming up.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit divvyproject.org. divvyproject.org. I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing. To be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survivalspeech.com, I'm Holland Cook.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Call in and talk about whatever you'd like to talk about. With you tonight, it's myself, Captain Kickass.
And I'm Ian.
Ridley.
And we've been talking a little bit about a lot of things. We started talking about the Virginia gun rally. We introduced our guest, Mr. Ridley from the Ridley Report. And then we also have, as a guest on air tonight, Adam Kokesh is also with us. And Adam, sorry, you got kind of cut off there towards the end. We wanted to make sure you had a chance to tell folks how to find you.
I appreciate that very much. My main website, the easiest way to find me is thefreedomline.com. All 3 words, thefreedomline.com.
Nice.
What are you doing? Thank you, Adam, by the way, for the kind words, belatedly.
Appreciate that.
Hey, Adam, what are you doing more media right now? You still doing like your YouTube channel?
I thought I saw that you rebooted the Adam versus the Man. I loved that show back in the day. It's kind of how I was first introduced to you. So is that going on? What's going on?
It's with the way that I've been shadow banned and demonetized a year ago, it's been a struggle to get back to any kind of consistent production. But I'm doing a kind of free form podcast generally Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I had a really awesome show this weekend, got up today. Roundtable with Ted Metz, former chair of LP Georgia, Stephen Nikela, the chair of LP Florida, and Joshua Smith, one of the top candidates right now, who I'm supporting also for chair of the Libertarian Party. And halfway through, Vermin Supreme crashed it. We did it here in the bus on No Force One. And we had a live studio audience smoking pot on the other side of the bus while we recorded the podcast. And
nice.
It's a blast. I'm enjoying getting back into it, and I feel like finally I have enough perspective and sense of I'm going to make media for my audience, for my message, not for a platform or for a sponsor even, but it's just part of what really motivates and satisfies me as an activist, being able to connect with people on that deeper intellectual level. And, with libertarianism, and you guys know this, I know, all 3 of you have discussed it on this level, that not only is it an ethical message rather than a political message, and therefore an anti-political message, but it also in every way possible has to connect with the spiritual, and in a deeper sense when we're talking about a message of love and respect for your fellow human beings, and living better, living by a higher standard of ethics, living a better life free of the poison of authority, the spirit crushing, the soul destroying effect of government as a coercive institution, of institutionalized violence. It really is a spiritual elevation, and what we are coming to, some of the hippies might call it the ascension, but there really is an obvious kind of enlightenment of humanity that we're experiencing right now. And I want to make sure that, not just your listeners, but really everybody in this movement who has identified libertarianism understands that, in a sense, we are warriors. And I say this as a Marine veteran, a combat veteran who's like, yeah, the militarism is a cancer on the warrior class. Reclaiming that warrior spirit doesn't mean, serving in the military. Being a warrior is not the same as being a soldier. A warrior is someone who's willing to put their life on the line, to stand up, to defend the people who need it, to stand up for righteousness and justice, and to intervene in crimes and stop them when they have the power to do that. A soldier is someone who signs up to kill for politicians, to be a part of an inherently destructive racket that is militarism that the founders of this country were against. And I think that's a huge part of the paradigm shift. And the United States government, the federal government, has become the biggest empire the world has ever known.
Yeah, it's so interesting because I bring that up to some of my, shall we say, less enlightened friends, that, in the eyes of everybody outside of the United States, we are the empire, if you look at it in the terms of Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
And you can tell, too, because, even in Star Wars, the bad guys...
write themselves.
Yeah, the bad guys always have the coolest stuff as far as when it comes to, toys of war and that kind of thing. And so that's exactly, where the federal government of the United States stands. And also, I wanted to mention, I appreciate your approach. I don't know anybody who's taken the time to get to know you that would say anything other than Adam comes at this from a perspective of love and a perspective of brotherhood. And so I give you all the credit in the world for having that perspective and bringing it, because it's so easy to get angry, right? You see all of the death and destruction and violence and coercion that is caused. It's just so easy to get angry. But coming at it from, a place of goodness, a place of heart, is
Adam,
the right perspective.
Can we have you weigh in here? I mean, you spent some time living in Virginia for a few years, and it was a big topic on the air last night. There were 20-plus thousand people apparently in the Virginia Capitol today opposing the new gun laws that may be being put into place there. And I'm just wondering, what do you have to say about that from your perspective?
I think it's an important step in the realization of freedom for America. And what I'm so excited about here is the element of localization that is so obvious in this with the fight over sanctuary counties. If a county can set its own law, we can say this county, you're allowed to own guns and carry them in accordance with the Second Amendment. We're a constitutional carry county. That's great. People want to live in a county that's not. Let them have, the right to set their own rules in their own community. Liberals want sanctuary cities. Conservatives want sanctuary counties. Well, guess what? This is why localization is the everybody gets what they want strategy.
Right. So abolish the federal government and let people make more localized decisions.
Well, really, getting rid of the federal government and getting rid of it is not unfair, but really localizing it, a lot of it gets apportioned, and we get to take back everything that's been stolen from us as individual Americans in the bankruptcy dissolution process. But that's only the first step in localization. What this leads to then is the further decentralization of government, which is a beautiful global trend. And we get rid of the state governments, we get it down to the county level, we see city-states break off, people are able to form new communities, to have a customized experience of governance or none at all if they so choose. That's the future of freedom. That's what, I'm an American imperialist in the truest sense, because the ideal of America, of respect for other people's rights, of freedom, of overthrowing empires, is something that belongs to the whole human family.
Right.
I want to see us lead the world forward in freedom again. That's the beauty of the American Revolution, that we said, screw you to a king. We're not going to be part of your empire anymore. We're going to do our own thing over here. And for everybody in the world to have that right, that ideal of America, I think that should go global the same way that, hey, we don't have to live under monarchies and absolute rule like that anymore. We can at least have representative republics. And I have certain ethical problems with that, of course, but it was clearly a step forward in human progress. We're ready for another big one.
Such a beautiful vision, man. I love it when you talk about the hows of how it's going to break down, and how you give the folks who are already parts of the federal organizations the opportunity to sort of own that portion of, say the property, the vehicles, and whatever the organization does, give them the opportunity to turn it into a business themselves, right? Okay, you guys are now part owners of this thing. Now go make it go. And that idea can expand, as you say, downward, in a decentralized manner towards all levels of government. And I find it a particularly beautiful strategy.
Adam, how do we get you moved to New Hampshire?
He'll never do it.
Get rid of the mosquitoes in the winter, and I'm there.
There's no mosquitoes during the winter. It's the summertime where you get the mosquitoes.
So you got to get rid of both of those.
The mosquitoes and the winter. So yeah, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. No. I live. I'm technically a member of the Free State Project. I joined in college when I first really got into libertarianism. I have a very low number on the membership roll somewhere, because I joined.
Do you want to hang out for another segment, Adam?
Sure.
All right, stand by. 855 453.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to MyPillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's MyPillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Free Talk Live.
That's all libertarians are saying is let's stop the violence. And really, when you put it in those terms, it sounds kind of liberal. Let's stop the violence.
Sure,
right?
it's a movement about peace and personal responsibility. That could very easily sound like, when you use the word peace, sounds liberal, you know?
Right. So if the first libertarian you ever meet or hear on the radio is just talking about making government smaller, I can totally understand why you would get confused and think that it's, just a bunch of ultra-right wingers. That's one of the reasons why I kind of shy away from labeling myself that way.
Often we get terms like radical used towards us, but radical, really? Peace, personal responsibility, voluntary interaction between individuals? That's radical? I'll tell you what's radical. Radical's using a gun and a bunch of guys in armored suits with helmets to enforce your will on people.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 7 nights a week, you can call in and talk about whatever you want. Our phone number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733.
Yeah, and I know Adam Kokesh, who's with us on the lines here tonight, and thanks for sticking with us here, Adam. Your website is thefreedomline.com. You are certainly no stranger to New Hampshire. Dave Ridley had asked you when you're going to move up here, and you're pretty settled in down in, I think it's Arizona where you're living at the moment. But you've been up here to visit us in the summertime over many years, and I want to invite you to come join us for Fork Fest 2020. Now, by the time Fork Fest comes around, the Libertarian Party will have selected its 2020 presidential candidate. I believe they're selecting that in the month of May this year. So Forkfest starts.
That's correct.
Forkfest, which is the decentralized Libertarian Camping Festival, begins June 29th this year, and it will run through July 5th. So if you don't have any plans for Independence Day yet, then you ought to plan to come on up and join us in the woods, the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire, at Rogers Campground, which I know you've been to, but it's been a few years, right?
Yep.
When was the last time you were up at Rogers Campground?
It's been a few years, and it was partly because of whatever the kerfuffle was between you and the organizers. I wanted to have your back in that. It was just like if you know they're gonna pull this crap with Ian, you know, I'm gonna step back. But if you're there and Fork Fest is we have evolved past the origin to the next phase, and that is where you're going to be. I would love to be there, and as the nominee, I think that would be an awesome campaign.
Well, whether you're the nominee at that point or not, we'd love to have you up there. And of course, just to be clear, we're talking about Fork Fest, which is not the Porcupine Freedom Festival.
Right.
Fork Fest is the decentralized alternative where there's no organizers, there's no board of directors to make dumb decisions. So
and it has a song.
Does it?
Forkfest.party. It's going to be a party.
And it will be. And it was last year, and it was much bigger last year than I thought it was going to be. Of course, we don't have ticket sales because there's no tickets for a decentralized event. So it's like the most affordable thing to come up and do because you don't have to pay unnecessary costs to attend it. And I would say we had a few hundred folks there in 2019. So it could be, some people are saying this may be the year of the flippening where the number of attendees at Fork Fest
outweighs Fork Fest. I love it.
And
I love it.
It's going to be Captain Kickass's first time attending as well.
That's right.
So I'm looking very forward to it.
I've had some amazing times there with the community and at Rogers, and it's been a big part of what's inspired me to live how I live now. And I wish I could say I was a perfect agorist, but I do live as close to that ideal as possible on 10 acres off-grid in the mountains in Arizona, where the piece of land that we bought when we got it did not connect to any existing roads. So
no roads?
You know what I did, right?
No roads? How did you ever travel?
Built a road.
Oh, wait, my God. I thought only government could.
How did you build a road without government?
Excited. Yeah, don't get too excited. It's just a big scratch in the dirt.
It
for
is
now.
It's a second century technology that the government can never seem to get right.
Hey, so check out. I just want to remind our listeners to check out the website for Forkfest. A website. It's there's no official website, so this is just one of them. Forkfest.party. There are links there to a Telegram chat room with I think over 150 members in there. There's there's also a Forkfest forum, and so people are already planning what they're going to do because it's decentralized. So like Derek and Steven from AnyPay put up a big old dome last year and threw some parties. The Alt Expo guys were there doing presentations on a variety of things. I've heard rumors there may be musical performances this year, which has not happened before, so we're going to probably see some new things. Jay Noon with Man Camp, he's bringing that back. And so, we're still 6 months out, and already people are throwing around ideas for what sort of neat things they're going to be doing there. So I'll look forward to, and we'll hope to see you there, Adam.
Adam, I have questions for you. Well, I've got a sec. First of all, what can you promise us by way of, what are you going to do to capture the media's imagination the way Vermin Supreme does? How can you get media attention? Because I have not seen really anything interesting about you, and I should have seen something by now if you were doing something interesting.
Oh, well, there's been I've been hustling. We've been making all sorts of interviews, and it's actually been one of the biggest time investments into this campaign. Just a lot of it is smaller time, podcasts and blogs and things like that. But I was also interviewed on Fox Business and Fox DC just recently, and I've had a couple other major media hits. Washington Times did a piece on contrasting myself and Chafee. But what I'm asked sometimes, and I know you're familiar with my civil disobedience background and street theater in a way that is somewhat akin to Vermin's. Actually, has been extremely successful in getting media. One thing in particular that I can talk about publicly now that I'm very excited about doing for whomever the nominee is, and of course I hope I get the honor of leading this exercise myself. This operation, rather, is a combination of two things that we've seen done in the past that we are uniquely capable of organizing now. And one is when Ralph Nader was the 2008 presidential candidate, was endorsed by Ron Paul, was shut out of the debates. He went and got arrested storming the debates and in civil disobedience trespassing, said, the American people deserve to hear a third voice in this debate, and was able to at least make some media and be a part of the conversation with that. What we did in 2012 with Veterans for Ron Paul was march on the White House with about 500 vets, all in formation, chanting President Paul and End the Fed. And I think for the people who need that gateway, I'm always reticent about playing the veterans card, because the fact that I was naive enough to join the military and volunteer to be a party to a war crime really shouldn't be giving me any kind of extra credibility. But
it shouldn't be, but if you got the card, you might as well play it, because it does play well.
Meet people where they're at. Yeah, speak that language. If you can use that as a way in. So what I'm going to be doing is organizing a formation of, I hope we can get over 1,000 this time, veterans marching on the presidential debates, demanding that the Libertarian nominee be heard. And it's the message to the American people. We put our lives on the line because we thought we were fighting for your freedom. We want you to listen to this person. Will you let them in the debate? Will you demand that the presidential commission debate, or whatever it is, the Commission on Presidential Debates, have a fair standard and allow for the first time a true third-party competition in this debate? And I think we can have, if we have 1,000 who are willing to risk arrest in crossing that line at the debate, I think we're going to be a bigger story than the debate itself.
Yeah, that would be that would garner media attention for sure.
It is a little weird how, they seem to put any alternative candidates outside of the big two sort of at the debate kiddie table, if you will. Reference to Thanksgiving when you were a kid.
Oh, they don't even get the kiddie table. They're out by the dumpster.
They give them a folding chair.
Woo, that's a much better metaphor there.
Yeah. Hey, Adam, anything else you want to share with our audience here tonight while we got you?
This is going to be a really exciting year for the Libertarian Party, regardless of who the nominee is. I'm just excited that what we are doing now with the Libertarian Party, much more invigorated by the grassroots, is bringing a message of principle based on libertarian ethics, based on the philosophy, based on applying it in an ethical, morally consistent way. And if it wasn't for the power of this idea, I mean, I don't think it's, I have, a decent following. I wouldn't say my resume is presidential by any stretch of the imagination, but it is a testament to the power of this idea, how much momentum we have got behind this campaign, having raised more than all other primary candidates together at this point in the Libertarian Party by a multiple of, I don't know what it is as of the last FEC report, but it is, I'm just so encouraged every day. And if people want to get involved, whatever it is, step up. The Libertarian Party is kind of an open source organization. Anybody can jump in and put their energy into it and actually have a say in how things happen, including who the nominee is. It's not hard to be a delegate to the National Convention, to be one of 1,000 votes, who gets to decide who's going to represent the word libertarian, the Libertarian Party, the libertarian message in the biggest opportunity that we have every 4 years in the presidential election cycle. And it's looking really good for our campaign. Joe Jorgensen was the other candidate I didn't get to mention in the Georgia straw poll with 29 votes, and we took it with 47.
Congratulations,
and we had a
Adam.
great, thank you.
Keep
we
up the good work, bro.
Thanks for doing stuff. Thanks for doing stuff.
And in Tennessee. So Adam at thefreedomline.com. Please email me if you want to get involved.
Very good. Adam Kokesh, good luck, brother.
Free Talk Live.
We got more coming up. Hour 2's next.
Would it be nice to wake up in the morning whenever you want and work whenever you feel like it? Date women under your terms instead of society's? Be a completely free man? I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free, on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,561, silver at $18.07, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,668. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, an ominous bill currently making its way through the Kentucky Senate aims to give police unprecedented unconstitutional powers. The new powers will allow cops to stop anyone they want and to demand that person tell them who they are, where they're going, and explain their actions. Activist Post reports police merely need to make an unsubstantiated claim that a person is involved in criminal activity, which gives them free rein to stop that person, demand his or her name, home address, and age, as well as to ask to see a driver's license, and then tell them to explain what the person is presently doing, quote, to the satisfaction of the officer, end quote. If you invoke your constitutional right not to answer the officer's questions, the new bill grants cops the right to detain you for 2 hours. Even more ominous is the fact that the detainment is not considered an arrest, so you have no right to an attorney, and police don't even have to record it. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Amazon Echo and the Alexa voice assistant have had widely publicized issues with privacy. Whether it's the amount of data they collect or the fact that they reportedly pay employees and at times external contractors from all over the world to listen to recordings to improve accuracy, the potential is there for sensitive personal information to be leaked through the devices. Activist Post reports the risks extend not just to our relationship with Amazon. Major privacy concerns are starting to emerge in the way Alexa devices interact with other services. The setup of the Echo turns Amazon into an extra gateway that every online interaction has to pass through, collecting data on each one. Alexa knows what you are searching for, listening to, or sending in your messages. Some smartphones do this already, especially those made by Google and Apple, who control the hardware, software, and cloud services. With Australia's spiraling environmental catastrophe receiving world attention in recent weeks, ecologists have sounded the alarm on the dire threat faced by the country's endemic wildlife populations. The Mind Unleashed reports that researchers are now warning that the platypus, the unusual duck-billed egg-laying mammal native to eastern Australia, whose existence was believed to be a hoax in the late 18th century, is one of the iconic species teetering on the brink of extinction. According to a new study by the University of New South Wales that was published in the scientific journal Biological Conservation, platypus numbers have declined by half or more since the European colonization of the island continent, with local extinctions occurring across 40% of the species' natural habitat, thanks to drought and human activity, such as dam building, water harvesting, land clearances, the impacts of livestock, and threats from feral species. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
A reclusive deity hasn't written a new book in 2,000 years, and a local rescue dog is adopted for a couple weeks. This is the Onion Week in Review. This week, in a devastating blow to the nation's laundry, 16,000 Americans were reportedly stained during the messiest day in U.S. history. Reports confirm that nearly 3,000 citizens received permanent stains on their good shirt from mustard splatter off a dropped hot dog, along with 12,000 cases of spilled coffee and other dark beverages ruining Americans' pair of hand-wash-only pants. Government officials further indicated that federal assistance for the nation's overwhelmed dry cleaners would be necessary. And in this week's local news, an elderly Rite Aid patron stretches out a conversation about toothpaste to prolong human contact. In other news, artifacts discovered buried in Washington, D.C. suggest humans once passed laws there. A self-centered child blames his parents' divorce entirely on himself. And a night of uninterrupted sleep really throws off a man's entire day.
This is the Onion News Network.
Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Call in and talk about whatever you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We talked a little bit about, we mentioned the Virginia gun rally. I don't know that we ever actually spoke about it. We had our guest, Adam Kokesh, on, giving us an update on his campaign activities. And we also have a special guest in the studio. I am Captain Kickass, and
hey, I'm
here
Ian.
with me, it's Ian.
And I'm Ridley.
And Mr. Ridley.
That's right.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about the Virginia gun rally because nothing happened. And
so
no violence.
That's
No
what we were talking
happened.
about earlier.
Yeah.
Something surely did happen.
I wanted
besides
to
the fact.
point out, though, to our listeners that, over 22,000 armed people showed up to a single area and no violence ensued. So everybody that's afraid of people, open carrying or carrying all the time or concealed gun permit, all that kind of stuff, the folks who are afraid of people just carrying guns, it's completely unfounded because here we have an example of 22,000 people who showed up and no violence ensued.
And the Tea Party was like that, too, to a large extent. And it was, I think it was probably generally less violent than Occupy, although both of those, I think, were helpful movements in a lot of ways. But the Tea Party was better armed, and I think was more orderly.
Mm-hmm. We do have a caller who's been holding for quite some time. I'd like to go to him. Bob in New Hampshire, you are on Free Talk Live.
Hi, I'd like to talk about the Trump-Iran situation.
The what? The Trump-Iran situation?
Nigger.
You can't say that on the radio. So it just dropped that and then hit the dump button over there on the right side on that machine to your right there. There you go. He waited, almost an hour for that?
Yeah, like a good hour.
We heard him more than he heard us.
Well, that was exciting. So you were going to make a point about
I'm sure a lot of different abuses happened at this event where police were trying to stop people from filming or trying to bark orders at them or threatening them or something. That sort of stuff. With that many activists there against the government, that probably happened 400 or 500 occasions during this event, and yet probably in most cases no one bothered to videotape it and put it on BitChute or Metacafe or on the internet or whatever.
Right. I know one of the points that I make to folks, and it's a cliche point, but folks who blame guns for, these mass shootings and all that kind of thing, the question I like to ask is, how come you never see a mass shooting at a gun show?
There's a reason.
There have been gun shows. There was one I was at where a gun went off, but it was not actually intentional.
Right.
But it was scary.
I imagine so.
Yeah,
but that's got to be the exception, right?
Yeah, it was definitely an exception.
A gun can't necessarily stop violence, but it can turn a massacre into a shootout, which is you're better off with a shootout.
Indeed. I believe we have a caller attempting to call on the Discord line.
You want to click the name of the actual room, not the caller itself.
Right here?
Yep. There you go.
Wesley, you are on Free Talk Live.
And he may be muted on the board, so you'll want to check that too.
Oh.
We're training today on Free Talk Live. Captain Kickass, first time in the seats. There on the board, you'll want to unmute the Discord, which is right next to our microphones. There you go.
Wesley, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Hey, thanks for tolerating my training wheels today. You are live on the air. What's going on?
Hey, is Dave really in the house?
He certainly is.
Hey, Wesley.
Hey, Dave, I wanted to ask you, do you think it's okay to kill and eat animals?
I think that's a great question, and I think it's questionable. I do it just a little bit. I am what you might call a reducitarian.
Okay.
What is that?
Okay.
What is a
Well,
reducitarian? Dave, what is a reducitarian?
It'd be like a person who's similar to a vegetarian, but like someone who can't completely give up meat. They have to have just a little bit. You can't live without it. That's me.
You have like a steak once a year or something?
It's more like having a very small amount of meat with as many veggies as I can tolerate, as much peanuts as I can tolerate, and that tends to happen about every 2 days.
Okay.
So don't a lot of these vegans and vegetarians look kind of sickly, like that they're not really, in good health or whatever? Isn't that kind of a thing?
I don't know. I did know a guy who was completely vegan, and I mean, he and I were about the same size. Right?
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I'm a meat eater. I'm a big boy, right?
Yeah.
You know, that kind of a thing. But this guy was completely vegan.
Was he just pounding down potatoes or something?
Well,
like,
I
how does that
think
work?
it was the carbs, right? So, like,
Okay.
you know, all of that, you know, potatoes and bread and, you know, all versions of that.
I see.
You know, so, because, I mean, it sort of limits your diet, right? If, you know, that. And what's
would
the
think,
least
yeah.
expensive foods that you can buy, right? Pasta, rice, potatoes, right? Those are all the least expensive foods. So, Wesley, did you have more questions for Dave?
Yeah, I do. So I think that was a pretty good answer from Dave. I like the straightforward answers. But my second question is, if it's not too personal, of course you don't have to answer. But I'm just curious, like, how old are you? I have people in the Discord saying that you're 30. I'm like, is Dave 30? I don't.
Oh no, I'm
yeah,
53.
Oh man,
I think last time I checked.
I was going to take a stab. I was going to go, you're 38.
He's got the hair of a 30-year-old.
Okay, well, that's all. Thank you for having me.
All right, thanks, Wesley.
Right, thanks for calling in, Wes.
Now, I happen to know that Wes, I believe, is a vegan, so he's unusually interested in that particular topic.
And I think that's really actually not something that's probably asked enough. It's only the second time anyone's ever brought that up with me. Because I was mentioning the non-aggression principle to someone once, and she asked me that, and I think that's a. The
non-aggression principle typically only applies to humans. The idea of not using violence or the threat of violence to, try to influence people, basically, or try to get your way.
Yeah.
Some people would say that should apply to animals as well.
Yeah, I think there's really a case to be made. I'm kind of like Thomas Jefferson with his slaves. He got addicted to slavery. He liked freedom, but he got addicted to slavery. And I think probably history will judge me harshly the way it judges, if it judges me at all. If it pays any attention to me, it will probably say, well, he ate meat. And that's terrible. And I think they'll have a point.
Yeah, I don't know if there's, hypocrisy involved in being a meat eater or whatever, but I don't
think there is, because I think the beasts will kill you if they have the chance, and they will eat you.
Indeed. I just find barbecue meats, particularly smoked barbecue, to be way too delicious to
give it up.
To ever give up.
Yeah.
I can reduce, like you're saying, I could see that becoming, a thing in my future, but like, oh man,
I don't want your veggie bacon.
Well, and the solution is with so many things. It's not so much. I mean, God bless the vegans. I admire what they're doing, but the solution isn't necessarily telling humanity to sacrifice or to stop doing something. It's to move forward technologically, and they're making some progress with this sort of lab-grown meat and stuff like that.
Right? Yeah, the genetically.
There's no suffering involved. So
right.
I really look forward to being able to eat that. Right? I eat all the alternatives I can think of right now.
Yeah.
I'm always open to more. If anyone wants to call in and make better suggestions on how to further reduce meat, I'll always listen.
I don't think that. Look, I don't think it's bad for people to spread their worldview, right? Like we certainly try to do that with Liberty on this program, and certainly the vegans would love to convert the entire world. But I'm not of the belief that I'm going to be able to convert everybody to libertarianism or liberty. I don't think we're ever going to get a majority, around the world. But if we can get a majority in one very, very small place, then that would be sufficient, because then we can have
New Hampshire, for example.
Right, because then we can have a more free place to live for us. And if other people want to come join that and also be free, that would be really cool. But the vegans, it seems like they want to convert everybody. Now, they're all different, so I can't speak for them, obviously. And neither can Wesley. He can only speak for himself. But there's a real push to convert, and it's like, it's never going to happen, right? Like, you might be able to bring some people on board with being a vegan, but you're never going to bring everybody on board. And so therefore, animals are always going to be slaughtered. That's just always the way it's going to be. Maybe you can reduce the number of it over time, but I think that's really the best they could possibly hope for. The idea that you're going to convert everybody who likes meat to stop eating meat, it's just unrealistic.
Yeah, I always say just do you and let everybody else do them. And, if you have a good argument for it, present it when asked. 855-450-FREE is our number. Call in and talk about whatever you like. We are Free Talk Live, and you can find us at freetalklive.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
And not to mention the shedding, I would vacuum the carpet 3 times a week. Frodo was scratching all night long, bouncing on the side of the bed, keeping me awake the whole entire night from all the scratching and chewing. It kind of makes you neurotic.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy?
Mounds and mounds of fur all over the place.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
Dinovite is nutrition.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
He gobbles it up. He's not up all night scratching. His shedding is minimal, and it is such a pleasure to have my calm, relaxed, non-shedding puppy back. And I have to thank Dinovite for that.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. DINOVITE.com.
The political world is a maddening cesspool of corruption and lies. Nobody tells the truth. Nobody keeps campaign promises. Nobody obeys the Constitution. Nobody puts the people first. How can we ever escape this web of tyranny? Vote for nobody.
Hi, my name is Nobody. I'm running for governor of New Hampshire because nobody knows how to live your life better than you do, and nobody deserves that kind of power. I want to put you back in control of your money, your lifestyle, your work, your body, and your life. Nobody should rule you but you. New Hampshire convicts many people of so-called crimes that should never have been prosecuted. If elected, I will pardon every victimless crime in New Hampshire history. This includes drug, gambling, prostitution, gun, and driving offenses. Nobody should have a criminal record when they have not harmed anybody.
Wouldn't it be nice to have nobody telling you what to do? Learn more at electnobody.com. electnobody.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. I'm the captain, and with us tonight it's
Ian,
Ridley,
and also I want
Captain.
to let you know about AnyPay's new ambassador program. We've talked about AnyPay as the premier go-to option to help local businesses accept cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash and Bitcoin Cash. and also Bitcoin SV at your local cash registers. You can download the AnyPay Cash Register app and help your local businesses get set up. But now there's an incentive to do it beyond just the goodness of your heart and helping cryptocurrency get out there. Now AnyPay is actually going to pay you to set up a local business with cryptocurrency. And the way it works is instead of getting like a spiff up front, you get paid on every purchase that somebody makes with Bitcoin Cash and Dash at that local business if you signed them up. So now you finally have an incentive. You make it happen, you receive the rewards. Here's how you do it. You download the AnyPay Cash Register app for yourself and add your own cryptocurrency wallet addresses to your version of AnyPay. Then install AnyPay at a real-life business and tell them you did it at anypayinc.com. That's anypayinc.com.
Well, and I'd like to thank my hosts and our callers for bearing with me on this training day for the captain. If you've ever had a first day on the job, I'm sure you can identify with all the things that go on with that. But,
there's no better way to do it than
I'm
just
rocking
to
the
jump
boat
in.
because I'm a rock and roll kind of guy, but I haven't capsized, so let's hope it continues to go well. If I've done everything...
You've had 2 crank callers, too.
I have.
It's been a challenging day.
An in-studio guest, an external guest calling in.
Yeah, really everything.
And we have yet another guest, and if I've done everything correctly, I believe we have Mark Edge on the line. Mark?
Edge calling from the U.S. Mariana Islands.
There he is. Mark, what's going on?
I'm just calling in to tell you about some things I found out about property ownership here. You guys were talking about moving Liberty folks to one place, and I think that I've been kind of scouting out Mariana Islands for that exactly. And I'd say that, there's a pretty good argument. It's the freest place in the United States.
Really? Do tell.
Yeah, before you get into it, I'm just curious. Dave Ridley, are you aware of this at all, this Mariana crypto frontier thing that's been going on?
Well, I've been following Blue Frontiers and the Seasteaders, and they were trying to set something up in the French Polynesia area.
This is different. Yeah, this is not seasteading. This is actually on an island. So seasteaders are the people that want to create platforms out in the water and live supposedly more free on the platforms. Unfortunately, the first time
outside of the borders of statist countries.
Yeah, unfortunately, the first time they tried it, they got raided by the nearby statist country, and their platforms were destroyed, and the warrant was placed for their arrest, and they had to escape from the
with possible death penalty, if I recall,
the jurisdiction.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a bit of a different approach. Mark, do you want to sum it up for our listeners and for Dave Ridley on what drew you down there?
Is a U.S. territory as opposed to its own unique country, and basically it's really low population, and that low population has been not interested. It's the most Republican area in the United States, except their Republicans are kind of different. They don't like guns, they like weed. So it's the best thing I can tell is I haven't found too many places that I would call it tyrannical. I would call it inefficient and corrupt, but all governments are corrupt, and this one, probably is really no different.
You've been there since Thursday?
The 17th. I don't know what day. I've lost track of the days.
Yeah. All right. So what were you calling to share tonight specifically? What have you discovered? You said about property ownership?
Probably the one thing that is, that why a liberty-oriented person wouldn't want to move to the Mariana Islands is you can't own property. The longest you can get is a 55-year lease, which is pretty long, right? You and I, we're probably not going to live much longer than 55 years.
Who do you lease it from?
What's that?
Whom do you lease the property from?
The person who had it the last time. So natives can own it. People that are called NMD, so Native Mariana, Northern Mariana descent or Native Mariana descent, one of those two, and they can own property. So they'll own it what they call fee simple, and then they can rent it out 55 years, and after that point, it reverts back to them.
Okay, so you're not leasing it from, say, the United States government. You're renting it or leasing it from whomever the native owner is.
Right. The U.S. government has a very small footprint here.
Wow. So imagine how nice the country would be if they'd done that in 1870, when they were conquering Kansas.
It's a good question. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that would work. But I can tell you as an American, I like the idea of buying my property, and I found out some information yesterday that I thought was worth sharing. So it's true you can't buy land, but you can buy a condominium, fee simple. So as long as it's on the second floor or higher, you can own your condominium. And this is really important. There's no property tax. So
wait.
For instance,
no property tax? That's freaking amazing.
Correct. States, they claim to own their property. Well, they don't. They just have a long-term lease, a lease with no expiration from the government as long as they continue to pay their money. Here, you can buy a domicile and live in it, fee simple.
Well, you keep saying fee simple. What does that mean?
Well, I'd have to define. It's basically an allodial title. Simply you own it. There's no property tax. And
well, in the case of a condominium, there's probably some rules though, right? Like condos usually have associations. Right. You're dealing with neighborhood Nazis then. So I mean, you're not out of the woods completely in a condo, right?
I'm working on a situation to perhaps get somebody to basically buy a piece of property for you and then have it as an agent, and then you can have a contract with them that you own it and that it gets renewed whenever. But that's kind of a workaround.
Would that hold up
system.
In court if the legality is that you cannot own property? Then trying to have a private contract, quietly outside of the system, say that you are the actual owner, but this guy's name is on the property deed. That may not hold up in court. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm not an attorney.
It's certainly not ironclad, Ian.
Yeah.
Real quick, I just looked up. Let's put up. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mark.
55-year lease here against property ownership in the United States. So let's say you buy a $500,000 property. Your taxes are $10,000 per year for 50 years. That's a $500,000 in
the U.S.
So
in the U.S.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's completely possible to get $10,000. So then you're paying in 50 years, you're going to pay $1 million for your $500,000 property.
Mm-hmm.
Here in Mariana Islands, you paid $500,000 for 55-year lease, and then you've got to redo it again in 55 years, presuming you're still alive.
Yep.
That's amazing. Do you want to stick around
paying
for
your
another
property
segment,
taxes
Mark?
all up front? It's kind of like paying your property taxes all up front and then getting a house for free.
Did you want to stay or your call?
I'm
Mark?
good. Thanks.
Okay. Hey, thanks for the call.
Thanks, Mark. Thanks for calling, Mark. 855-450-FREE is the number if you want to call.
He's learning stuff.
You can talk about whatever you like at freetalklive.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vernon Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting libertycon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's libertycon.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. I am hosting this evening, and my name is Captain Kickass, but with us tonight,
I'm Ian.
And Ridley.
And you can call and talk about whatever you like. We are going to talk a little bit about something very personal to Mr. Ridley, and that's band Ridleo's band.
Well, censorship, I guess, is a personal crusade of mine, or anti-censorship. I guess I think of the First Amendment as being the most important one, if any of those imperial amendments are of any value at all.
I'm very anti-censorship, but
first, before we do that, I do want to tell you about the next generation wallet coming from Divvy. In a few taps, you'll be able to spend, earn, store, and exchange digital money in seconds. Divvy says you'll be able to send money around the globe in only a swipe and instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat currencies like the dollar in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. There's no need to wait, though, because Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with their multi-tiered masternodes, allowing anyone to earn by supporting the Divvy network. When the new Divvy wallet launches, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. You can learn more at divvyproject.org. That's divvyproject.org.
Just to sort of close the loop on Mark's call, I did look up fee simple, and fee simple means it's probably the most common form of ownership when it comes to residential real estate that buyers are familiar with. So when he's saying fee simple, he's just saying in the most common and usual way, allodial title style. Right, so if you have cash...
But that's not common at all, because you don't get allodial title in the United States. Allodial title is the title, as I understand it. Now, I'm not an expert on this, but from what I think Jay Noon has explained, it is the king's title, basically. Like, if you have allodial title...
Right. So perhaps it's not allodial title. We'll have to get some clarification on that.
But what he was saying was that in the Marianas, there's no property taxes, so therefore... he feels like if you could own property, that you would actually own the property. And in the case of the losing the name of it, the thing that he said you could own. Starts with a C. Condominium, thank you. In the case of the condominium, you would actually have some ownership of that as opposed to just being a glorified renter having to pay property taxes to the government. But in that case, of course, you're probably paying rent to the condominium association, would be my guess.
Well, and so that's closing the loop on that, and we're going to talk about Ridleo's being banned in a minute. But we have a caller who's been holding who wants to give us an update about the Ed and Elaine Brown situation.
These are the tax freedom advocates who have been sadly in a prison cell for the last more than a decade now for not paying federal income tax, and they may be being released soon.
Well, we're going to find out. Robert, you're on Free Talk Live. Can you hear us?
Yeah, hey, you're doing a fantastic job, Captain. Just keep doing it, and you'll get there.
Thanks,
you're doing fantastic.
Thanks. You want to give us an update about Ed and Elaine? Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to ask Dave Ridley if he could give us an update on our friends Ed and Elaine Brown.
I may not know that much more than you, Robert. I got an email from I guess what I'd call a Brown sympathizer named Keith Champagne, who was involved in 2007. I don't know if he was actually ever on the property, but I think he came to New Hampshire from another place in the Northeast, kind of as an activist related to that situation, if I recall. I mean, I know the part that I know is I did interview him in New Hampshire, and he wasn't from New Hampshire, and he was here partly because of the Browns, I think.
You went to their house like we did, right? Back when they had their so-called standoff between the federal government and Ed and Elaine?
Correct. I was there, I think, twice for a total of about 48 hours.
I don't know if we went with you at one point. I don't recall.
I remember seeing you there. Yeah.
And then they also had a party that they threw. Were you at the big party that they threw up there where they had bands and there was probably a couple hundred people there?
No, mostly what I did was I went to the area and then just demonstrated on street corners by myself.
Right.
I had a free. I can't remember what my sign said, but I was pretty prominent with my Gadsden flag and stuff like that. So I didn't actually spend most of the time at their house. I was at a motel part of the time, and then at street corners most of the time, because I figured I wouldn't count that much at the house, but I'd count on the street corners.
Well, the news was, and we reported on this recently a couple of times, that a couple of the charges or some of the charges that they were convicted of. So they had there was the tax, not paying your income tax kind of charges or not filing or whatever those charges were. But then there was also resisting with violence or some sort of weapons resistance charge. I don't have it in front of me right now. But those charges ended up becoming found unconstitutional by the Supreme Court. Those charges themselves were essentially nullified. And so because those charges are now gone, basically, they're unconstitutional to charge people with those things now. So retroactively, they're now going back and saying, well, all these people, so Ed and Elaine Brown and also a couple of their associates who were also on the property and arrested similarly, even though they weren't the tax freedom people, they were sort of friends with Ed and Elaine, and they were kind of on their team, basically, and so they arrested them. All of these people are having their sort of a resentencing hearing coming up toward the very end of this month, and the belief is that, well, they've already been in jail for more than a decade at this point, and the worst of the charges are now being thrown out, so all they really have left is the so-called tax protester charges. They may be released. There's a good chance that at the end of this month, when these hearings happen, the judge will say, well, time served, you're out.
Yeah, so Keith Champagne's using the term, he says, highly likely, quote unquote,
I think so.
Highly likely that they'll be released.
It may not be that they are released from the court. It may be that the judge says you are to be released, and then the Bureau of Prisons has to churn for a few months. So it may be, several weeks, if not months, before they get released if the judge orders them out. Right. I wouldn't expect to be able to shake his hand on the way out of the court that particular day. But
Robert, did you have anything to add?
No, I just think that those people should be let go. I mean, they didn't do anything wrong at all. All they were doing was they were teaching the public about, us getting shafted by the government. They're just real good forward thinkers, and let's hope that they get out, and hopefully they might be able to get on Free Talk Live.
Very
No,
nice.
that'd be cool.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
they need to be released. And one thing to consider is we might not expect anyone to be ejected from the Concord Federal Building on January 30th, but if they are, it's important that there's some kind of humanitarian infrastructure so that they're not just walking out into the 4-degree weather.
Right.
I know that felt really good when I got arrested for handing out flyers by the feds, and I got released. When I got released from that Concord Federal Building, it was really nice to have activists out there waving a flag and ready to drive me somewhere.
Yeah, it feels good to get out of prison, but it feels better to get somewhere warm shortly thereafter if it's freezing cold outside, that's for sure. I would expect that there's going to be some supporters there. I know, Dave, you were talking about possibly going up to observe.
I'd love to be there if I can.
Robert, anything else?
No, I'm all set.
All right, brother.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks for the call. The bad news, though, that we saw recently, this is great news that they could be being released, is that Elaine has decided apparently she wants to get a divorce from Ed. So,
well, and it sounded like
sad.
with the statement that she made that it might be, part of a strategy to get out.
It could be. Certainly it's not uncommon for people to throw their loved ones under the bus when it comes to federal sentencing if they think that it's going to save their own skin, and that may be a factor in her decision.
But either way, I mean, there was, nobody was harmed. There was no violence.
No, there wasn't.
That kind of thing.
I mean, there were federal agents who were willing to shoot people.
Right.
That were there. So, I mean, there was definitely the threat of violence.
There was a little bit of harm inflicted, actually. Lauren Canario was arrested, a Free Stater.
That's right.
She wasn't held for very long. And
they didn't charge her with anything. They just wanted her out of their hair, right?
I think she didn't want to leave the jail cell, and they had to force her out or something. But then there was also an incident where, in fairness, one of the Brown activists did cause an injury, I guess a traffic accident.
Right, but with regards to Ed and Elaine themselves, they caused no harm to anybody.
Well, I don't think you can call a traffic accident violence, though. Right. That's just an accident.
Maybe, that's probably appropriate.
Well, I'm glad to hear that there's some progress there and some hope, because it sucks when that happens to otherwise good people.
At least they were resisting.
855 450 free, like freedom is the number if you want to call. This is Free Talk Live. Call in and take control.
Let me ask you something. What are you doing when you put money in a 401k or IRA, or store jumper cables in your vehicle, or purchase health insurance? You're preparing. You're preparing to ensure you have enough money for retirement. You're preparing for when your car battery dies, or to have assistance paying a major unexpected medical bill. That all makes sense. The same goes for building a food storage plan. You're preparing for when emergencies or disasters strike and shelves go empty at your grocery store. The best way to prepare is with My Patriot Supply. They've helped 1 million hardworking Americans become more self-sufficient. My Patriot Supply sells hundreds of items, including dozens of emergency food kits, at MyPatriotSupply.com. It could be an earthquake, a cyber attack freezing our banking system, or a disaster that shuts down our power grid for weeks. For all these emergencies and more, get your supplies and prepare today at MyPatriotSupply.com. No more rushing to find empty store shelves because you're too late. Do it now so you're ready. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of
stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Call in to talk about whatever you like. Our toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. In the studio tonight, it's me, Captain Kickass.
It's Ian.
And Ridley.
And we are going to talk a little bit about Ridleo's being banned. Now, I had to ask the question, Dave, what is a Ridleo? Can you explain that to our listeners?
I guess a Ridleo is a video produced by Ridley.
A Ridleo. So it's not a breakfast cereal like I thought. It's not like Cheerios that, look like Dave's face or anything. Although that would be cool.
Would be pretty crazy,
I used to sort of define it as a video that's edited in the camera, because when I started doing the Ridley Report in 2007, I would go to, things that could easily be edited in the camera. I'd go to like Ron Paul demonstrations, and those are easy to, snap a picture here, snap 4 seconds there, 7 seconds there.
Meaning you didn't go back to an editing bay afterwards and spend any time moving clips around or anything like that?
Just a little bit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But then technology changed, and that got more difficult to do. Not how technology sometimes makes things worse, not better. So over the time, I guess a Ridleo has come to be redefined as ambush interviews of politicians and bureaucrats, which is probably a more useful way to use the camera anyway.
Well, I got to say, I'm excited to have you get back into that. You've been doing a little more street theater recently. You've donned a hat, you've donned a costume. You've been Winston Churchill in a lot of your recent episodes.
Winston Churchill, tell us more.
It is my pleasure to make the attempt, but it was a grand flop.
Yeah.
It was of no value to the viewer, and apparently. But I have done a great number of ambush interviews, and as myself, Ridley.
Nice.
No one liked Churchill, so I just did that for a little while. No one liked it, so I went back as soon as I could to ambush interviews.
It was too wordy. In my opinion, and I say that as one of your longest running sponsors, who continues to be one of your longest running sponsors. It was a lot of reading and words, and not as much of the ambushing and the giving the politicians a real hard time.
Right.
And part of that was just I don't own a vehicle. I do not own a vehicle, so I was looking for something I could do. What is there something I can do from where I am? So it was an experiment, but it was a failure, and that's the way experiments
you got to try new things.
Most of them do fail, and I did not. People have thought, "Oh, he's abandoned ambush interviews," but I was doing all of the ambush interviews I could.
Yeah.
And I continued to do that.
So you've made these ambush videos, and we're calling them Ridleos. And so now somehow some of them are getting banned. Is that right?
So when I was visiting Colorado Springs, some of the government meetings occur at libraries. so I tend to go to the libraries a lot. And I saw they have a library schedule, and one of the meetings that I saw was called Young Marines. Didn't say anything else, just Young Marines. So I thought, well, I guess I should go bother some Marines.
Time to crash a party, right?
Right? You know, ask them if they've committed any war crimes or something like that. And so I went and discovered, it's more like the Young Pioneers. Remember the Soviet era version of the Soviet version of the Boy Scouts?
So like the Hitler Youth?
It's more like something a little more benign than that, but not as much more benign as I would like.
Like the Cub Scouts
so
or
they're
something?
kind of like ROTC or like ROTC.
Okay.
So it's somewhat of a preparatory organization. And people who go through Young Marines, I guess they get into the military with a higher rank or something along those lines. So there's a connection to the federal government. It was started by federals and Marines and so forth. However, they claim not to be funded by the federal government. Does that make sense? So anyway, it wasn't technically a government meeting, but I still asked some questions of people going in. And of course, a lady lost it. Couldn't believe I was asking questions and came up and confronted me.
Okay.
And so the part that she's in is the part that is named in a YouTube complaint, what they call a privacy complaint. She tried to have the video taken down because she had walked up to me and demanded to know what I was filming, and then tried to get me to stop filming, and then someone called the cops, and she said she was going to report me, and then the cops showed up.
So she found your video online, and
well, that would be the simplest explanation. I can't say for sure exactly who did what. They don't tell you who filed a complaint on you.
But this was in a library, right?
This is in a public government library. However, a person walked by who I thought might be a Marine right at the beginning before I knew what was going on. And I asked him a question. He may have been a minor. He looked to me like he could have been anywhere between 16 and 20. So I blurred him out in the video. But she complained. Well, I don't know who complained, but whoever complained actually complained about the part that the adult is in, who is trying to stop the videotaping. And so anyway, for the first time since 2014, YouTube sided with a privacy complaint against me and deleted the video.
Oh, man.
That's shocking.
So it's if you just search paramilitary mom versus camera, you can find it on BitChute and Metacafe, and I put it on Facebook. And
so some of the other media places are carrying it's just no longer available on YouTube.
Correct.
Okay.
So the complaint comes down. You said, hey, is there a way to appeal it to where you say, oh, no, this is legal, what I did. This is a public place. This woman was in public. She should be able to be shown on video.
Yeah. Now, it's possible that they took it down because, again, I asked a question of a person who may have been a minor. Someone claimed that I was asking questions of minors. So maybe this person was a minor. There was one person.
What does that matter? I mean, you're not allowed to talk to somebody if they're under 18.
But I have a rule of my own that I tend to try and just to be a good sport, not to confront people who are too young to answer the question.
Sure.
Right? This person, again, probably was old enough to answer the question, but as a courtesy, I will go ahead and blur out minors if I think or people who I think may be minors in many cases. Yeah.
So it was blurred out, but nonetheless, the video was taken down.
That's correct.
That is an interesting story. I'm sorry to hear that your work is being taken down.
Well, that's what happens. I mean, it's these centralized platforms where there's no real rhyme or reason sometimes to why things happen, and in many cases there's not much of a process to try to appeal it or get any kind of human being to actually interact with you and give you any kind of explanation as to what the real reason was or what was any kind of thought process.
Well, it's interesting. I mean, as much as the banning part is really important, and I'm glad we're talking about that, but that's been the subject for the entirety of the whole series is about what I'm allowed to film. That's what the whole playlist is about, and the cops that show up and everything. And that's all interesting, but none of us have ever talked about the actual concerns that might exist about the young Marines themselves. That we haven't even gotten to that yet. And I think it's useful to, if I'd known more, I probably would have asked more about, so is it a good idea to be using children as so what they do? I guess they provide sort of PR support for the military, and they will show up at military events and wave flags and stuff like that. And I don't know exactly how organized they are. Is it good to be using minors for something like that? If we're so concerned about them being maybe asked a question, maybe, I don't know, we should also be concerned about them working for an institution that tortures people and doing it for free.
Yeah, I'm curious if there's similar organizations for each of the armed forces. Is there like a little Navy and a little Army, kind of thing? Junior, what was the name of this organization?
Young Marines.
Is there a Young Navy and a Young Army, organization that's similar to that?
Yeah.
And how prevalent is this?
Yeah, it's not that prevalent. Most people have never heard it. And like I said, I just thought it was the Marines, right? And just 20-year-olds who are in the Marines is what I was expecting to see. And the other thing to think about is that it slips my mind. Go ahead.
No, I'm just amazed at what a downturn YouTube has taken since it's purchased by Google. I mean, one of probably the greatest and most open platforms for communication, giving everybody with a camera a voice, and how it has sort of become now, just sort of Big Brother, right?
Yeah.
And I realize that they're a private entity, right? They're a private company, they're a private business. They can do whatever they want with their platform. I understand that. I just think it sucks. And I would really like to see a day where somebody else invents a platform that isn't centralized like that, but gives all of the freedom that YouTube used to have.
Well, and the most importantly, the viewers, because BitChute has a lot of freedom, but not a lot of hits.
Right.
Metacafe has pretty decent hits, but there's prior restraint. So, I've really been through the list to try, all the alternatives to YouTube. I'm on Library. I'm on Metacafe.
You're on Steam.it or whatever that is?
Steam, it is, you mean the DTube?
Yeah. Whatever that is.
DTube would be the YouTube for Steam.
Right, okay.
I never had good experiences with it. I tried DTube, and it didn't work out very well.
I think I'm along the same lines.
I like Library personally, lbry.com. It's a decentralized blockchain-based system that actually will ingest your YouTube channel automatically, so you don't even have to do anything. And then if YouTube deletes you, it's still on Library.
More with Dave and your calls coming up. Free Talk Live.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
What good is living in a free society if you don't live a free life? Being stuck in a job or being locked into a relationship, but you're not free to do what you want. I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free, on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with the SNLS Network and listeners like you. Online at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,561, silver at $18.07, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,668. Today's gold, silver, and Bitcoin prices are brought to you by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven. The Liberty Beat and Brave Botanicals believe so strongly in the power of kratom, we're giving it away for free. Just go to libertybeat.news/free kratom. This is the Liberty Beat at snlsnetwork.com. In the news, an ominous bill currently making its way through the Kentucky Senate aims to give police unprecedented unconstitutional powers. The new powers will allow cops to stop anyone they want and to demand that person tell them who they are, where they're going, and explain their actions. Activist Post reports police merely need to make an unsubstantiated claim that a person is involved in criminal activity, which gives them free rein to stop that person, demand his or her name, home address, and age, as well as to ask to see a driver's license, and then tell them to explain what the person is presently doing, quote, to the satisfaction of the officer, end quote. If you invoke your constitutional right not to answer the officer's questions, the new bill grants cops the right to detain you for 2 hours. Even more ominous is the fact that the detainment is not considered an arrest, so you have no right to an attorney, and police don't even have to record it. Ever wonder where we find all the news to report right here on the Liberty Beat? Visit snls.news to get the world's most censored media published all in one place. Save yourself from the endless time spent searching for reliable alternative media. SNLS News makes it quick and easy. No ads, no clickbait, just raw headlines, 24 hours a day. Visit snls.news and get informed today without the corporate media spin. Your news now continues. Amazon Echo and the Alexa voice assistant have had widely publicized issues with privacy. Whether it's the amount of data they collect or the fact that they reportedly pay employees and at times external contractors from all over the world to listen to recordings to improve accuracy, the potential is there for sensitive personal information to be leaked through the devices. Activist Post reports the risks extend not just to our relationship with Amazon. Major privacy concerns are starting to emerge in the way Alexa devices interact with other services. The setup of the Echo turns Amazon into an extra gateway that every online interaction has to pass through, collecting data on each one. Alexa knows what you are searching for, listening to, or sending in your messages. Some smartphones do this already, especially those made by Google and Apple, who control the hardware, software, and cloud services. With Australia's spiraling environmental catastrophe receiving world attention in recent weeks, ecologists have sounded the alarm on the dire threat faced by the country's endemic wildlife populations. The Mind Unleashed reports that researchers are now warning that the platypus, the unusual duck-billed egg-laying mammal native to eastern Australia, whose existence was believed to be a hoax in the late 18th century, is one of the iconic species teetering on the brink of extinction. According to a new study by the University of New South Wales that was published in the scientific journal Biological Conservation, platypus numbers have declined by half or more since the European colonization of the island continent, with local extinctions occurring across 40% of the species' natural habitat, thanks to drought and human activity, such as dam building, water harvesting, land clearances, the impacts of livestock, and threats from feral species. Support for the Liberty Beat is brought to you by the Homestead Guru. The Homestead Guru is an educational website offering tips, tools, news, stories, and commentary on everything homesteading. Topics include green homes, gardening, animal husbandry, do-it-yourself, home remedies, alternative energy, survivalism, unschooling, and more. Those details are found online at thehomestead.guru. This is the Liberty Beat, powered by the SNLS Network at snlsnetwork.com. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Studies show that more and more teenagers are leaving Facebook, but where are they going instead? apparently to the hottest new social media site in years, the comments section of this YouTube video of a deer running in slow motion. Already, its comment section is seeing over 30 million active users. Facebook isn't giving up so easily, incorporating images and videos of deer, elk, reindeer, and even moose into their layout. But teens say that misses the point entirely. In fact, the site's one unwritten rule: don't post anything about the video itself. Teens say that's not cool. But with more and more people swapping over to the comments section of the slow motion deer video by the day, some trend watchers warn it may begin going the way of Facebook.
I was obsessed with it for a while, but now it's just boring. I'm probably going to switch over to Happy Fast Kitchen.
While we don't know for sure, we believe Happy Fast Kitchen might refer to the Yelp page for a Chinese food restaurant in Cleveland, the new social media site where musician Skrillex recently dropped his latest album.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
He took the words right out of my mouth. It is Free Talk Live. And you can join us here in the studio. Our toll-free number is 855-450-3733. And tonight, it's me, the captain.
And it's Ian.
And Ridley.
And we teased a little bit that we were going to take your calls. We've had a gentleman waiting patiently named Jake. It looks like he's in Ohio, perhaps. Jake, are you with us? You're on Free Talk Live.
Hello, guys.
Hey, Jake. How you doing? What do you want to talk about?
I was at the Virginia NRA protest.
You were?
About that. Yeah, it was really cold.
I heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I think it turned out pretty good, and I just don't like how the governor is taking away people's rights. I'm a strong advocate for the Second Amendment, and my group that I'm currently a member supports the Second Amendment as well too.
Well, that's awesome. Now, did you go armed or unarmed?
I went unarmed because I just didn't want to risk the international. I'm kind of unfamiliar of transporting your firearm across state lines because it's like a loophole. I just don't know yet.
Okay, our screener here says that. Are you calling from Ohio? Is that right?
Well, I am from there, but yeah.
Okay, so did you travel from Ohio down to Virginia just to go to this, or?
Yeah.
Nice.
There's my group, the NSM88.org, also supports that group, that event too for the Second Amendment.
And what is that?
The NSM88.org supports the Second Amendment.
And what is that group?
It's a National Socialist organization.
So it's Nazis, is what you're saying?
No, I wouldn't really call it Nazis. I would say it's more of the right-wing, patriot.
That's kind of what the Nazis called themselves before everyone else started calling them Nazis.
They're the German,
National Socialists.
So what is it that your National Socialist goals are?
Well, anti-communism, support of the Constitution for all peoples, and racial segregation.
Segregation. Just got to kind of, at the end there, kind of added as a footnote, racial segregation.
Yeah, so you're, would you describe yourself as a white supremacist?
No, white supremacists would identify as they feel superior of everyone that's not of their race.
Mm-hmm.
I would say more of a white separatist that prefers just to stick to their own.
There is a difference between the two. It's a very important difference. No, I'm not being serious. I'm not being sarcastic. There actually is. I mean, if all you want to do is separate yourself, then you're not hurting anybody.
Well,
if you're a supremacist, then you're hurting somebody.
Well,
probably.
I don't know. I mean, just because you're a supremacist doesn't mean you're hurting somebody. It just means you have, kind of despicable views. But usually, the reason why people want to be separated is likely because they are afraid of other people, or usually because they believe they're superior. So you don't believe you're superior to other races of people. You just want to be away from them. Why is that?
Well, I mean, it's natural instinct for people's races to be with their own.
Is it though? Because we see plenty of race mixing out there, and that seems pretty natural too. So how do you know what's natural?
I don't know if that's really natural because it's been pushed in schools for people to think that.
You think it's schools that make somebody attracted to another human being?
No, I just think that the hip hop culture has been promoted so much that
it's
they
hip
think
hop
it's cool.
culture. So it's because of rap music is why a white woman might be attracted to a black man, or a black woman might be attracted to a white man, or an Asian person might be attracted to a black person?
Well, I don't know how you so just changed the subject, or we were talking
Well, no,
about
you were the one who
NRA.
called in to promote your separatist movement.
No, well, yeah.
So
but
I'm
we're
going to
talking
ask you
about
questions
government
about it.
and-
Look, I got to say, I appreciate you not dropping the the F-bomb on the air, so we can actually ask you
Me and
questions.
Mark had talks before, so I know better not to cuss on your guys' show.
Okay, well that's good because I've got questions I want to know. So on one hand, you said you thought it was natural, but then in the next moment, you said it was hip hop culture that did this.
It's natural for your own race. Let's pretend that we're black. We're more inclined to prefer to stick to a black woman. So I'm assuming you're white. I'm white. My first preference of dating would be a white woman, and I would never be with anyone that's not white.
Okay, so what about Asians? You would completely say no to Asians?
That's a whole different race.
So they kind of look white, though. So it doesn't have to do with the color of their skin. It has more to do with what? You don't like the slanty eyes, or what is it about Asians that you're against?
They're not of the white race. I just don't want to date them.
What does it mean to be of the white race? Does somebody have to be 100% European?
It is a European descent. It's like hazel eyes, green eyes, like sky blue eyes, blonde hair, light brown hair. I mean, there is Italians with black hair, but that doesn't mean that you're not white.
So are you able to tell somebody is white simply by looking at them, or do you need to have a DNA test done?
Well, I mean, I disbelieve of the DNA test, because if we had one guy that had multiple from different companies, and a lot of them, of every single DNA test that was done, they weren't the same. Everything was random. So I don't really consider it as a reliable source to check where your heritage comes from.
Random,
but,
huh? Okay, well, that wasn't my experience with DNA tests. Go ahead, Captain.
I wanted to ask Jake. So I've found myself attracted to many different races as far as the opposite sex is concerned. I really find myself attracted to somebody with a tanner skin, and the jet black hair just really does it for me. Also, I've dated a couple of Asian girls, but in addition, I've also dated some white women. So. How does the natural as you say white folks are attracted or want to be with that? How do you explain my attraction to these other races of women?
Well, like I said too, is it's mainly that you're more inclined to prefer to date your own race, but if you grew up not thinking that it's all right, then most likely you're probably going to date outside your race. And a lot of people that grew up that way, they don't think that.
Okay, well, I grew up in an incredibly racist household, probably one where any other race except the white race was frowned upon. While I was growing up, none of that occurred, right? As in high school, I wasn't, dating, any other race. There was no other race in the small town that I grew up in.
You were in Wisconsin.
Correct. Small town. So that wasn't available. But I went and I spread my wings in the world, and I traveled a little bit, and I, got to see other cultures and expose myself to other places. And so, again, if what you're saying is true, how do you explain my experience?
Well, I mean, I also, explored and talked to many other different races. That's perfectly fine. It's just when I say I prefer to stick with my own race, as in marriage-wise or family-wise, then that's perfectly fine.
It's your choice.
I mean,
it's your body, it's your life, it's your choice. What is this going to mean for you, though? I mean, obviously not everybody's going to be interested in National Socialism, which is what your movement is. You've already brought that up earlier. What's that?
NSM88.org.
Yep, you've plugged that a few times now. So that's not going to be too attractive to a lot of people. So what is your plan exactly? How are you going to bring about the society that you want? Are you going to get some, white people together? Are you going to move to a particular plot of land together and put up big fences to keep, brown people out? What are you going to do?
Well, that's a question our commander would answer a more professional way.
You have a commander, of course.
Yeah,
Commies.
we have
straight out of Handmaid's Tale.
That commands the whole party. Yeah.
Well, I think it's been an interesting call.
Yeah, it actually has.
It's been an interesting. I gotta hand it to you. You've answered our questions, unlike most of your compatriots who are just jokers and ridiculous.
I don't know who they are. They're probably not affiliated with what I am in.
Okay, well, thanks for the call, Jake.
Yeah, keep us updated on your white culture movement thing or whatever it is you're planning to do.
855-450-FREE. You can take control.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Have you heard of LibertyCon? LibertyCon is not only a convention with great speakers like Whole Foods CEO and co-founder John Mackey and Nobel Prize winner Vermin Smith, but it's also unique because you get a chance to network with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations, one-on-one for the purpose of career advancement, business, and internship opportunities. April 3rd through 5th in Washington, D.C. You can learn more by visiting LibertyCon.com and use code FTL for a $10 discount on your registration. That's LibertyCon.com.
The next generation wallet is coming from Divvy. In just a few taps, you'll be able to send, earn, spend, and exchange digital money in seconds. Send money around the globe with only a swipe. Instantly exchange between Divvy, Bitcoin, and fiat right in the mobile app and withdraw directly to your bank account. Divvy already offers the first one-tap solution for earning passive income with crypto. Multi-tiered masternodes allow everyone to partake in the network. Visit DivvyProject.org. DivvyProject.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Do you want more businesses accepting Bitcoin Cash and Dash? Now with AnyPay, you earn passive income for every purchase at those businesses. Finally, a financial incentive to spread Bitcoin Cash and Dash. You made it happen, so you get the rewards. Download the AnyPay Cash Register app and add your cryptocurrency wallet addresses. Then install it at a real-life business and tell us what you did at anypayinc.com. anypayinc.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
Hey, we're the monkeys. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, sort of.
Well, all right. Human beings are barely just not apes. This is true. I am Captain Kickass, and this is Free Talk Live. With you tonight, it's me,
Andy, and
Ridley.
And you can call in and talk about whatever you would like to talk about.
I want to say those Nazis need to get a better web designer. My God, this is a god-awful, just terrible 1997 style website. It's even got the flashing logos, not logos, but like the GIFs, the animated GIFs. They've got
the arrows or whatever.
Awful, the arrows that are like bouncing. It says new. It just looks terrible.
One thing though to keep in mind whenever you're talking to these kinds of people is when was the last time you were ever hurt by someone like that, right? You were hurt yesterday by the government. They taxed you. But when was the last time you were hurt by a National Socialist? It's never happened to me. It would.
Well, I mean, when's the last time you saw one in real life?
If I were black, maybe it would have happened to me. And it's a different experience for black people. But still.
But when's the last time you saw one in real life? I mean, these people are so inconsequential; they barely even exist.
That's part of the reason why they do.
They can't even find a webmaster worth half a.
Yeah. I did get into a fight with some skinheads in a mall once.
Really?
1989. Yeah.
Were you the same? Did you have no hair?
No, I had hair at the time. Yeah,
that was why. Oh, you're not allowed to.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't shave my head until, of course, the hair started leaving me. So I was just like, well, I'm just gonna finish it off, right?
It takes no courage. Nick takes no courage to be against National Socialists. What counts is the courage that you show against the big powers, the ones that you're not allowed to criticize.
It is interesting, talking about the way a person looks. Sort of the prejudgments that people make on you when you do shave your head, regardless of your race or whatever, but particularly as a white guy, and then growing the giant goatee, right? We've had callers, go, "Oh, Harley guy," right? You know what I mean? Yeah. And I don't own a Harley. I've ridden a motorcycle a few times in my life, but I don't own one, and I'm probably not going to own another one. I don't see it in my future. I would entertain maybe a trike, something like that. I think I'd look badass on a trike, right? But yeah. Anyway, we do have some callers on hold. Looks like we've got Justin in Salt Lake, Utah, watching us on YouTube. Justin, you're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, that today is Martin Luther Coon Jr. today, and on this day...
That's very rude. Didn't this guy call in earlier? Sounds like the same guy that called earlier. Get rid of him.
Okay,
get rid of him.
And Justin is gone.
Yeah, the board op hit the dump button for some reason. I don't know if he said something that...
he was certainly spouting racist things, so we will...
rude.
Yeah, I mean,
if you don't have anything,
I'm
sorry. Yeah, well, it is Free Talk Live, but if all you've got is to call in and call somebody a name, an insulting name, you don't have anything to talk about. You don't have anything intelligent to say. So we're interested in having a conversation here. The idea isn't to just let somebody call in and shout racial epithets. That's not conversation. That's not interesting. You can't have a conversation with somebody like that.
Yeah, I have a pretty low tolerance of it. I didn't hear that guy say anything like radio offensive, but
I guess that must be why we're getting so many calls. It's because it's Dr. King's.
I don't know about that.
Or?
They've been these people have been calling on and off, mostly on over the last several weeks on Free Talk Live. It's just they don't have anything else to do, and Free Talk Live is open phones, so we will let anybody call in who can dial a phone number.
Well, that being said, we have another caller, Patrick. Who is listening on D-Live, apparently. Patrick, you're on Free Talk Live.
Oh, hey, boys. How are you?
Hi, Patrick.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Indeed.
It can only get better from that last one, so go ahead.
Yeah, I know. I feel bad for that fellow that identified as a white nationalist. Man, that's a bad look, fella.
Oh, no, he said he was a separatist, right? Or did he say nationalist?
Well, yeah.
National Socialist.
Whatever he
said National Socialist.
I probably agree with him a lot, but I disagree with the way that he presented himself. It's stupid and wrong. Anyway, I don't want to talk about any of that. I just want to talk about tech censorship. Have you guys looked into that?
Tech censorship? You mean like what happened with Dave Ridley, where his video was taken down off YouTube?
Yeah, I mean, like what's going on with Twitter? I mean, I don't know. Hey, all I'm saying is that it seems to me that there's a bias that's happening because the big tech companies are running in these. But what are we going to call? You guys tell me what you guys think about San Francisco.
San Francisco.
I'll just be quiet.
What do you think San Francisco has to do with this?
High taxes. The taxes are too high.
Well, wait, is it just because a lot of the tech companies are based in San Francisco?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. I mean, San Francisco is an expensive place to live. It's California. The rent there is ridiculous. The government regulations and oppression is also pretty excessive in that particular place. I don't know if that has anything to do with the people, the companies and the behavior of those companies there. I'm not sure if there's a connection.
Yeah, I think, and you tell me if this plays to your point, Patrick, but I think that, in modern times, these technology companies, particularly the media companies, have replaced publishers. So it used to be that, if you were a publisher, at least according to the law, you would have, some sort of secure rights and, to get your thing published when, somebody else, wouldn't otherwise publish it. But with these tech companies and media, they are private entities. They're not publicly owned in any way, shape, or form. There's very few laws.
Yeah. But a publisher. These tech companies enjoy a legal situation where they're not responsible for the postings on their websites, and I think that's okay.
Yeah, me too. I think that's fine.
But I don't think they should. If they enjoy that protection, I do not think they should be allowed to censor.
No, I disagree. As someone who was just censored, I think Google had the right to censor me. I just think it was a bad decision, and they don't think they should be making that decision often with so many people.
Essentially, they function as a public. They're not. It's not like it's the public street, right? Where we all pay for. I don't know.
But that's what some people want, right? So there's some people.
I know. It's so hard to describe.
Well, but that's what some people want. They want to see these platforms like YouTube or Facebook or whatever become some kind of government-regulated free speech platform, because it's basically people who are understandably upset that they've been wiped off of the platform. They're like, well, I want to have my say and I should be able to have it. Well, go start your own platform. It's not that hard to go out and
It's not. Hold on. Can I stop you there?
Well, before you do that, it's not that hard to go out and spin up a WordPress blog and be able to put whatever content you want there. If you want, we can hang on to Patrick because it's an interesting discussion. So hang on, Patrick.
I don't mean to be rude.
No.
Okay.
Just put him on hold. We'll come back here.
Hold on the line, Patrick.
In moments.
855-450 free. Call in and talk about whatever you want. Free Talk Live.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. Local.bitcoin.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with AgristHosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to AgristHosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's AgristHosting.com.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can call in and take control of the airwaves. 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. And was there something you wanted to tell us about, Ian?
Yes, indeed. LibertyCon is coming up April 3rd through the 5th, and that is going to be a unique convention happening in D.C. with more than 70 pro-liberty organizations present. You want to advance your career, your business, or internship opportunities, this is going to be a great place to do that networking that'll will help you get to the next level. John Mackey is going to be speaking there. You may know him as the Whole Foods CEO and co-founder. He'll be speaking on conscious capitalism. Plus, you'll hear from Vermin Smith, a Nobel Prize winner in economics, Miriam Issa, a pop culture expert with over 300 million YouTube views, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, who is the author of The Black Swan, and others. Go to libertycon.com to learn more about the event and get registered using code FTL to save $10 on your registration, which is already shockingly affordable. It's under $100 to attend this 3-day-long convention. It's April 3rd through the 5th. You knock $10 more off by using code FTL. Student travel scholarships are available, so if you're a young person, you're a student, you want to come to this thing, they'll help you get there.
I love that.
Which is awesome. Discounted rooms also available at the Marriott Marquis. LibertyCon.com. Go get registered now, and we'll see you there because Free Talk Live will be broadcasting from the event as we continue.
And we were talking to a caller, Patrick, who is listening on DLive, and we wanted to bring him back, and finish our conversation. Patrick.
Yeah, I'm back. How's it going, boys?
We were talking about publishing freedom, and you were frustrated, Patrick, and a lot of people are frustrated. We were talking with Dave Ridley here in our studio earlier about how he's had his videos taken down. I've had a couple of videos targeted on the Free Keen YouTube channel by YouTube for various reasons over the years.
Yeah.
And it is frustrating. But just because they are a platform doesn't mean that they have any obligation to provide you with services.
Yeah, sure, right? Yeah, I mean, okay, but where is that going to where is that going to lead us to? Like, what?
Hopefully,
how
competition.
Do you see that playing out into the future, boys.
I think, Dave, you just touched on it. Competition, meaning that if people are frustrated enough with YouTube, and I think a lot more people today are frustrated with them than have been previously.
You guys should be more frustrated with YouTube than anybody.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do that. I can do that. I can be more frustrated with YouTube. I'm working on it. I'm doing everything I can.
Well, and you're also doing a lot to find alternatives, Dave. You mentioned earlier that the Ridley Report, that's your channel, is on Metacafe, right? Mm-hmm. It's on where else are you?
Library.
BitChute?
Yeah, BitChute and Facebook. And
are you on Library? You're on Library.
There's another one I've forgotten.
That's not where the populace is.
Not yet.
Just isn't.
Not yet.
Not yet, but again,
Metacafe is different. Metacafe does have a lot of hits. There's a lot of people watching Metacafe. Videos take a long time to generate hits on Metacafe, but it's a long, slow burn.
I know this isn't a popular opinion with you guys, but I just have to say it. The public square has changed, and the public square is now in private hands. Maybe it always has been. Maybe it always has been. But allowing these platforms to censor what is being said on them is not a good thing.
You don't have any other choice. The only other choice would be to have the government force these.
You make my point for me. We have no other choice.
No. What I'm saying is you don't have any other choice than to have private
radio.
Let me answer what you said here. You don't have any other choice besides private options on the internet. It's always been that way online. Somebody owns the server that you're on, and that somebody gets to set the rules for you. So YouTube has become so popular that they are inordinately large, and they have a large influence, and whatever decision they make has, there's waves that, that go out from that decision that affect people's lives. But that doesn't mean that it's necessarily worse than the public square. You bring up the public square, and look, as libertarians, I think all want to get rid of public property. We don't want to have the government controlling anything, and that does mean that private places get to set certain rules. When you're at the movie theater, you're not allowed to yell in the movie theater. That's a private rule.
I have an idea for a solution.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Well, thank you. So Andreas Antonopoulos from the Bitcoin community is always saying, if you're going to have an organization, you should have one if it's information related or crypto or currency related. Have it let all information through or all currency through. Have it be like the phone company that lets all calls through. A phone company doesn't stop people from making calls because they might be a racist or something like that. And that's what we need. That's what we need on the internet. We need an internet service that's like YouTube that lets everything through, every single thing, like a phone company.
Are we just talking about video, or are we just talking generally here?
Well, video would be probably the most important, but the other venues would be important
because
too.
We have it, right? Like you use Library, lbry.com. That allows
absolutely everything through.
Anything can go up on Library.
May I say something?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I totally agree. I understand that there needs to be, like, we can't have YouTube where it's porn and gore and all this, but political speech should be free.
Then create a website.
The way to punish the porn and gore people if they're doing something wrong, like child porn people, is to get them, not to go after the video, but to get the person that's doing it and do it without taxpayer expense.
I just believe that YouTube should be allowed. I don't know.
Forced
I understand
or
that
allowed?
it's not, I don't own it. I get it. I totally do. But
Right, because if you want the only solution to the only solution to YouTube not doing what you want it. Sorry, the only solution that you could have besides competition would be to force YouTube to do something against their will through government mandate. Is that what you're advocating?
But YouTube has, and I know you guys don't like this, but they have a monopoly.
No, they do not.
Yes, they do.
No, Dave Ridley.
I think it would be considered a monopoly under U.S. law for what that's worth.
They might be the biggest fish in the ocean, but they're not the only video provider.
Fish in the ocean.
No, that's not true.
Not anymore.
Let's be
Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it, but that's just not true. I mean, Dave just gave us 5 other alternatives that you can use. Just because they don't have the same market share doesn't mean they're not. Just because YouTube has the largest market share doesn't mean they're a monopoly. It's just you got to understand what a monopoly is. A monopoly is the only choice, meaning there is nowhere else that you can put a video on the internet, and that is not true. Not only can you put it on.
I like Canada Dry Ginger Ale.
Yeah.
Right.
Not only can you put your video on these other video sharing platforms like Dave is talking about, whether they be centralized or decentralized, they both exist, but you can also host your own video on your own server.
That's a fact.
Our co-host on Friday nights, Chris Wade, he's the guy behind Freedom Decrypted, which is the liberty-oriented tech show that's on weekends. He runs thinkpenguin.com. He is into tech independence. That's what he does. And so when he's broadcasting his show it's a video feed, 1080p, high resolution, good video quality. That's all coming from his server. He's not using Twitch.
Right.
He's not using DLive or any of these other YouTube streaming platforms. He's exclusively doing his own sort of roll your own streaming option. So that's out there too.
Right. But back to your point about the monopoly, like just because, there's somebody out there that's the big fish doesn't mean that they're a monopoly.
That's right. And, for all the caterwauling about YouTube, if you're not willing to compete, then you can either keep complaining or advocate for the government to force YouTube to do something. And I'm hoping that's not what he wanted to hear happen. He wasn't really clear about that, because if you then have the government come in there and say, well, everyone has to be allowed here with the exception of the things the government doesn't want, of course, because there will be certain exceptions to that, then you're entering into a real scary territory where the government then is regulating internet content in a way that it never has before.
Well, and then you do have a monopoly because the government owns it and treats it as a public entity, and
That's
then you
right.
have what occurred with Ma Bell back before the breakups.
Yeah, very scary.
What do you think about tech? What was the phrase he used? Censorship, tech censorship. Give us a call. Let us know your thoughts. More calls coming up. Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE.
Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but soon you'll need a plan and place to survive. Forget bunkers. You're not a live underground gopher. You need survivalist camps, the ultimate fully functional, off-the-grid mobile survival bug-out house that's well-equipped and custom-built to outlast any other RV or trailer. Bold statement? You bet. See them now at survivalistcamps.com. That's survivalistcamps.com. Trust your family's survival to survivalistcamps.com.
If you have diabetes and you're on Medicare, Medicaid, or have private insurance, you may qualify for a new continuous glucose monitor. Managing your diabetes is crucial to your health. The new CGM can automatically and easily help you manage your diabetes more effectively. And by using a CGM, you can eliminate the one thing most people with diabetes dislike the most: finger sticks. Now you can automatically manage your diabetes and end the painful finger sticks. Solara Medical Supplies makes it simple for you to have a new CGM. We'll do all the insurance paperwork for you and deliver the newest in diabetic care technology right to your door. Take charge of your diabetes today with the help of a new continuous glucose monitor. Call now to learn more. 800-547-5331. 800-547-5331. 800-547-5331. That's 800-547-5331.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Police in Lehman, Michigan describe a local student's recently foiled plans to commit a deadly school shooting as, quote, embarrassingly bad. Authorities apprehended 17-year-old Trent Bayer Thursday after finding him in an empty hallway struggling to load a pathetically small caliber pistol while simultaneously attempting to unfold an inaccurate map of the school. Lehman Police Chief Ethan Holman elaborated several ways Bayer's strategy could have been more effective, including setting off a homemade explosive in the teacher's lounge, executing popular students first, and at the very least purchasing some military fatigues.
You're not going to intimidate anyone by wearing a tucked-in button-down shirt and pleated trousers.
In other news, a jar of change on a dresser is sadly factoring into a number of financial decisions. A teen zebra doesn't give a shit how much you honk, it's not getting out of the road. And Dad's new 20-year-old Thai boyfriend really sucks at categories. And don't forget to never ever drink Pepsi-Cola, whose dipshit marketing team backed out of a full-page ad buy at the last minute. For more news, visit theonion.com/newsbeat.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Live video of our key New Hampshire-based shows is streamed on DLive. Please follow and share at dlive.lrn.fm. That's dlive.lrn.fm.
Oh yeah, it's Free Talk Live. The show that lets you take control of the airwaves. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. In the studio tonight, it's myself, Captain Kickass.
And I'm Ian.
And Ridley.
And we are here to talk about many things.
And we're going to in a moment, but first I want you to know about Edge Wallet, because it is a great cryptocurrency wallet. I used mine tonight, actually, to pay for my breakfast at the local watering hole down here in Keene that accepts cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and several others. Through the Edge wallet, you can spend a bunch of different cryptos, or save them, or trade them, or just hang on to them. It is up to you how you use it, but it's your money. You're in charge of your crypto. Edge Wallet does not have access to your cryptocurrency. They're a veteran team. They've been building wallets for cryptocurrency since 2014. You can secure your freedom with the Edge Wallet, and you can download it for iOS or Android devices through your Google or Apple App Store, or go to edge.app, which is their website, where you can learn more about the Edge Wallet and the technology behind it. That's EDGE, edge.app for Edge Wallet.
It's a pretty good wallet. I also wanted to let folks know, I don't know if I've mentioned it tonight, but you can sound like you're sitting in the studio with us by using the Discord line at discord.lrn.fm. And we just so happen to have a caller. Gene, the Christian anarchist, is with us, calling in on the AMP-only line. Gene?
Actually, I am in the studio. I'm here sitting right next to Ian.
Oh, my gosh. Well, that's weird. How'd you get here?
Oh, just use one of them transporter beams like Star Trek.
Very nice.
Hey, I want to talk about fake news tonight. And one of the things that there's so many examples of fake news, you just kind of lose track, because pretty much everything that you see in the news, I would say 90% of it is a lie. 10% is probably true. So that the problem is sorting it out, figuring out which 10% is the truth. But there's a big push going around in the last couple years about personal drones. They don't want you to have a personal drone, and everybody's scared of these drones. And now they've had this fake news going around about these drones flying all over Colorado and running grids at nighttime and doing all kinds of stuff. I guarantee you it's fake news, just like the one at the airport. Which airport was that? I think it was London, wasn't it? Or was it Washington, D.C.?
I have not heard about these fake news stories that you're talking about.
I think I have, actually. I saw some news blips, perhaps something on a television broadcast where I think it was Colorado, but there was this group of drones that were spotted at random times over the same area, and then they would just fly off and disappear, and nobody knew who they belonged to. And the big push of this story was that they were going to push for some sort of federal regulation they want everybody to be able to identify your drones at some point.
Well, the federal regulations have been already introduced. They've been in the works for a couple of years now, and they want everybody's drone to basically have some kind of a active connection that identifies who they are and where they are. And with millions of drones, can you imagine the ridiculousness of this requirement? Basically, they're just trying to kill the personal drone business. Now I'm a private pilot, and I also play with a drone once in a while. So I have pilot friends who are scared of these drones. They think, oh my God, we're gonna crash our airplanes into these drones, and we're all gonna die.
That could be bad. You don't want a drone flying into your engine.
Well, first of all, a drone is typically quite small and very lightweight, and they're not going to cause a lot of damage. Yes, if you suck one into a jet engine, it might do some damage to the engine, but probably not. It'll probably just get sucked in one side and blown out the backside.
Really?
The airplanes run into birds all the time.
Oh, they
and
do.
These drones are typically smaller than a bird and lighter than a bird, than a good-sized bird.
That's a great point. I mean, there's bones in those birds, right? Are the bones stronger than the plastic or metal or whatever that makes up these drones?
Yeah, there's very little metal in a drone. There's 4 little tiny motors that have little tiny magnets in them. Yes, they can put a dent in the wing. They could break the windshield of a small plane like I fly, not the big jets. The big jets have very thick windshields. But the point is, I haven't hit a bird my entire life, 600 hours of flying or 700 hours of flying. I've never hit a bird. Now, I know some guys who've hit birds. Typically it doesn't do much but put a dent in the wing or whatever. But the point I'm getting at is they're using all this as a fear tactic.
Sure.
The one a year ago was at an airport, and they said that they shut the airport down for like 2 days because of the drone. And then a couple months later, the officials released a statement saying, well, we actually don't have any evidence that there ever was a drone. They shut the airport down for 2 days.
Why be scared of drones when you can be scared of the government being scared? That's what I'm scared of, is a scared government.
Well, I'm guessing
they're always trying to stop people from innovating, stop people from saving lives, stop people from doing things.
Well, governments like drones when they are running
right.
drones.
I'm guessing they just don't want competition for the airspace. And correct me if I'm wrong, Gene. I'm not a pilot, but the way I understand, at least the United States governing quote airspace unquote, is that there's a certain level of altitude in which you're supposed to be able to fly things like kites, drones, etc., and so on. And it's not until you get to a certain altitude where then planes and jets and all that kind of stuff outside of taking off from the airports. Is that a correct understanding?
Well, they do have restrictions on altitude and things, but generally it's only over populated areas. I mean, if I'm out flying over a farmer's field, technically I can fly 10 feet over the field.
Oh,
but
okay.
you're supposed to maintain 500 feet separation from buildings and populated areas and things of that nature. But I mean, I have a seaplane and I can go land on the lake. I can fly right down to the surface of the lake and land on the lake.
And I know that military drones obviously can reach some fantastic altitudes. Are there private drones that are just as capable as military drones that you're aware of?
No, all of these drones are typically, if you can get more than 25 minutes of flying time, that's incredible. You've got a really super good drone. Most of them 15, 20 minutes is all you can get. And the speeds are 20 to 25 miles per hour. You can't get very far or very high with these electric drones. They just don't have the power. You've got to have gasoline.
So they're like the equivalent of like a remote controlled car, an RC car, but
basically
in the sky, right?
Yep.
Yeah, you can't do much with these drones. They're really,
and the range is limited too, limited. Right? Like you're limited by the transmission range as far as the device that's transmitting to the drone. Yes. So once they get out of range, they return.
Now, some people have modified their drones with a cellular card so that they can actually control the thing through the cell phone network, and they can literally fly them 20 miles, without losing control.
That's unusual for a drone.
You have to have a specially modified drone for that. But the technology exists and people can do it. It's technically illegal to do that because the current regulations say that you can't fly a drone outside of your line of sight. So technically it's illegal to do
permission, right? Because I know like filmmakers and things are using drones more and more for those great sky shots of, certain areas that are, pleasing to the eye geographically.
Well, they technically also need to have a spotter. So even if you've got the first-person goggle on, you're supposed to have another person next to you being a spotter. So he's looking for, low-flying helicopters and things of that nature. So, I mean, there are common sense rules that they don't have to be a law, in my opinion. It just has to be something that if you're going to take the responsibility of flying a drone, you should follow these rules, or you or somebody else might get hurt. But I mean, all of this nonsense about trying to put all these new laws into place are just, more restrictions that's going to kill a blooming industry.
And they want to make sure that people can't rise up using drones.
Well, yeah, there's not much you can do with a drone but surveillance, which is a useful tool, but they're not quite big enough to carry weapons and stuff yet. Some of them
I've
are.
seen video of a drone with a gun mounted to it, and it seemed pretty cool.
Well, I've seen a video of a drone pulling a guy on a ski and actually picking him straight up in the air. But it was a specially made drone, and the darn thing weighs about 60 pounds. It's not a lightweight drone. This is a big drone.
Well, thanks for the call tonight, Gene.
Yeah, thanks, Gene. I've learned more about drones and flying drones tonight than I have in the past.
Thanks for droning on.
All right, have a good night, Gene.
That's good.
Well, that's going to wrap it up for us here at Free Talk Live. We'll see you next time, freetalklive.com.
Do you ever feel like you're in jail, a virtual jail, because of your job or maybe your current relationship where you're not allowed to do what you really want to do? I'm Caleb Jones, and I have taught hundreds of thousands of men how to create low-work, high-income businesses and how to date women under your terms. Watch our free, on-demand replay training with me so you can learn how to create location-independent income and date women the way you want. Go to alpha.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.